100% sure I saw you in a pink shirt.
You
There's
seem
nothing
like a
wrong
guy
with
that
a
would
man
wear a
wearing
pink
a
polo.
pink shirt. What is wrong with a
don't
man
wear
wearing a pink shirt?
Pink underwear, yes, not pink shirt.
What's wrong? Are you so
Wait.
sexually insecure you can't wear a pink shirt?
You would rather have the pink directly on your balls than have it just
As a
on your
shirt.
torso.
That's a good point.
Remember
Yeah.
how you said you were going to stop eating that popcorn when we started the show, and then
Is
I
the
started the
show
show, and then yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah, this is how we start shows now.
Hello.
Just dive right in.
Welcome.
There's no music?
It is. What is it?
The Sunday.
January 26th, 2014. And you are listening to the ManaTank Podcast
Oliver's
Brought
the
in-
host.
by Oliver. This is obvious. This is weird. I don't even know what to say because I have a mouthful of popcorn. Joining me today is Kevin Byer.
Hey Oliver, how's it going?
Good, pal. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited for the new show opening
Yeah, well,
that we totally discussed beforehand.
I'm stumbling through it. I
So
don't know.
intense. So intense. Look, he's like,
I'm still trying to chew through the popcorn in my mouth.
How big of a mouthful of popcorn did you just take?
Pretty big because, like I said, once we started the show, I would get rid of it. On the ones and twos is Matt.
I'm
The
just
Matt
ready to
Eves.
show. It's so intense. Oh, I'm ready.
And on supporting bass is Eric Peterson.
Hello,
You just got to do a lick, man. You just got to do a bass lick if you're on some bass.
That's my bass lick.
I don't really know how to host the show, so take it away.
Okay. Well, we talk about video games. Let's get back to this pink shirt thing for a second here. What's the big deal with the pink shirts?
Kev swears he saw me wearing a pink shirt when he was down here. I don't own a pink shirt. I
Why
own
is that?
red.
Why would that even be a problem?
I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just saying I don't own a pink shirt.
Real men aren't afraid to wear. First of all, it's not pink; it's salmon. Second of all, real men aren't afraid
There's
to wear
a
pink
difference
shirts.
between pink and salmon.
There is.
Well, no, not really. Not if you're an actual man. It's the same color.
So for you, Kev, there's just like 5 primary colors and that's it?
No, there's like 7 colors, and then if you want to change a color, you add an ish or a e. So it's like yellowy pinkish, or
Whoa! Pink isn't one of the 7 colors.
No, I want to hear Kevin's 7 primary colors.
my version of the 7 colors. All right, we got red,
Okay.
blue, yellow, green. See what else is there? Pink.
Uh-huh.
How about white and black?
No, you don't need those ones. All right, fine. White and black can be the last 2.
Okay.
I'll throw you out there in white and black. And that's all you need. Those are the only colors you need.
And then you add E and ish to the end of them, like yellowy pinkish.
Yeah, that was my example. I mean, you
Yeah.
could have went with another one.
No, I'm just reiterating
Yeah,
to say that I understand your previous example. Oh
Like-
shit, there goes my camera.
bluey blackish. Like, those are colors. That's like a dark blue, bluey blackish.
I don't think that's right. So no, I don't. It's not that I have an issue with wearing pink. It's just I don't own pink. Plus,
So if
all
you
the-
were in a pink shirt, if you were walking down the street in a pink shirt, and some guy said, "Wow, what's up with that pink shirt?" You'd be like, I know, right? My wife made me wear it. She pulled it out of the only shirt because it's laundry day." Or would you just be like, "Yeah, whatever. It's fuck you. It's a pink shirt.
I'd
Check
say
it out."
it'd be white, and I put it in with my red pants, and it bled.
You
and I'm
couldn't
too
just
bored.
admit to wearing a pink shirt. What?
No, because
Why
the only
not?
people you actually see wearing pink shirts are those fraternity bro guys, and their biceps are tearing the shoulders apart.
Warren has it. You remember my friend Warren, Oliver? He's
Yep.
a round man.
Yep.
He has a pink shirt. It says, "I'm fat, let's party." And it's pink and has blue text on it.
He would wear a shirt just like that.
Yeah, because he is fat, and he does like to party.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, that's the guy that I saw a picture of?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
guy who thought I was gay, so now really
Yeah, well, you came in wearing...
it goes both ways.
Were you wearing a pink shirt?
I was
at
going
the
to say,
time?
you came in wearing that pink shirt that one time, and talk of the town ever since. Welcome to the ManaTank Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Oliver already covered the basics. How about some video games, y'all? Oliver, who would you like to talk about video games first? I'm going to teach you how to host this show, so if I'm
Okay.
ever gone, you can handle it. Next step is
When you die.
Uh-huh.
When you
Yeah.
die and you're long gone,
That's right.
I have to pick up the mic, as it were.
Or
Yeah.
Oliver will get a taste of the glory, and 2 days from now there will be a poison truffle in Eads' food.
Poison truffle.
That's right.
Because of all those regular truffles I eat. You just throw it in with the
It
regular
was a
truffles.
purpley
and
yellowish
oh,
poison truffle.
Like chocolate truffle, or
Damn
the,
it.
the truffles that look like poop that come out of the dirt in
The
France?
poop one. I
Same-
want to try
same
one of those
truffle.
poop truffles.
No,
do you
you
just
can.
do you just eat them like
yeah, those
raw?
are different.
Yeah,
Those are different, right?
you can have like a chocolate truffle, and that's just what it's called. But
But it has truffle in it, but it
No,
also
there's
has
no truffle.
chocolate.
Apparently, truffles are like a protected species now.
they have
Oh,
special dogs that go out and hunt
simulation
them, and-
truffles.
Yeah. I need me some genuine truffles in my life.
All right. Well, I'm rich, so I eat truffles all the time. So that poison truffle is probably real
Slip
good way.
right through.
Yeah,
That's the easiest way to get at you.
it's cunning, is what it is.
I get the highest score on assassination missions in Hitman all the time.
Because he does his research, obviously.
Yeah, poison truffle. He knew I had a fondness for truffles,
Yeah. Injected the truffle with poison. Rat
and
poison.
then he chloroformed the truffle truck driver. Took the truffle uniform, truffle delivery man,
Bang.
and I didn't wise up to him.
And then I would immediately have to switch places with the cook as I drop off the truffles, kill him. Then cook up the truffle, make sure you eat that specific truffle at that time.
It's true. You get more points if you don't kill him.
Yeah, you have
Oh,
to-
really?
Yeah, you just drug him and like put him in the pantry or something.
Alright, well, I'm kind of dark in that way, so I don't get the best score, but I get my personal best score.
It has to be so that nobody ever knew you were there.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guy's drugged and he wakes up in a closet. How's he... Does that
Yeah,
just
and then,
happen
and then
to
he
him a
wakes
lot?
up and he's like, "Oh, what happened? I was into the truffles again."
Gotta stop doing that truffle acid.
That's what they do, right? They just make you pat. They're like roofies. They're nature's
Yeah.
roofies.
Yeah.
That's why they're so highly sought after. So Oliver, next step in hosting this show would be pick a person, usually call them out, and say, talk about games. But feel free to put your own spin on it, you know.
Matt,
Okay? What?
talk about games while my dog freaks out.
Games are often played with more than one player. They come on many consoles. I like games.
That was the type of report Matt did all the way up until grade 12.
Technically, they're essays, all right, when they're at that level. I played I played a bunch of games this week, actually. I played the Castle Doctrine.
you
This
and I
week.
both.
Yeah, I played
guys-
and
okay.
finished the Castle Doctrine. I am done. I have beat Castle Doctrine. I'm
You
done.
lasted a lot longer than I did in terms of managing your frustration.
Which is surprising if for anybody who knows me at all.
Yeah.
So the Castle Doctrine is it's not really, it's like 8-bit art style. It's not really 8-bit, but it's supposed to look like that. And basically you are trying to rob somebody and they are trying to rob you. So you build a maze to defend your vault and your family, and they build mazes to defend their vaults and their family, and then you're trying to steal their shit and they're trying to steal your shit. And that's the game. And
you
every time
seen-
you every time you die, no matter how it happens, if it's in your own maze, if it's in somebody else's maze, if you fuck up and walk over one of your own traps, you start from scratch. You start with your initial bankroll.
This kind of reminded me of the movie that came out last year called The Purge.
Oh, is that Kevin Bacon? That's Kevin Bacon, right? With like crime is legal for 24 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little.
I don't
sure.
think that's Kevin Bacon.
I'm almost positive that's Kevin Bacon.
probably
I will bet
Kevin
you
Bacon.
$10
Yeah, you
right
know what? I
now
think
that
you're
that's
right.
Kevin Bacon.
It is Kevin Bacon. But yeah, it's the premise is the same except crime is legal all the time.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. The way I ended up playing it was I had a lot more fun just building mazes and watching people go through my maze and die, because I have never successfully completed a maze. And you're also, I guess I should say, you can buy tools to help you get through the mazes. Every maze has to be solvable with no items, because once you build your maze, they make you test it and prove that it's solvable. and also the family has to have a totally trap-free path to the exit. So there are a couple of like caveats you can kind of use to try and figure out.
Your family's not the most intelligent, because if you put something that you, as the father, can walk over, your family can't walk over it. The
It's
only
just
thing they can
games,
walk over
game
is
design, right?
Yeah, but I think that's kind of dumb. I mean, if you can walk over it, they should be able to walk over it.
That maze, the maze design is fucking hard enough as it is without having... Like, it would be too stupid at that point. Because eventually all these mazes, what they turn into is... they'll give you a choice between 20 doors, and behind 19 of these doors is death, and behind one of these doors is another 20 doors, and behind 19 of those doors is death, and behind that door is another 20 doors, and it just keeps going, keeps going. So you have like a 1 in, 2,048 chance or whatever of getting to the end, and every other path is death. Ask me anything about the Castle Doctrine. It's 50% off until Tuesday?
Yeah, and it will never go on sale again. The developer did a huge article about how rampant game sales are bad for the player, and he basically said, if you want this game for anything less than full price, you better buy it now, because it will never go on sale ever again.
It's $8, which is worth it. But if it's $16, I don't think it's worth it.
I'm with you on that. I don't think I would pay $16 for it. It was great, but I burned out on it a lot quicker than you did. The maze building portion of it is a ton of fun. The learning curve for this game is exceptionally high, just because you're jumping in and there's really no explanation for what the different parts do and how they interface with each other, so it's just a huge process of trial and error. So you go in and you think you have everything wired up properly, and then you go to test it and realize that half the shit that you put together doesn't work, and then your own dog kills you and you have to start over.
Most of the times I've died are testing my own maze and either wiring up something improperly so that I end up making an insolvable maze, or forgetting which path of the 20 doors to take and then walking into instant death. And it's such a... Like, death is so easy to... It's so... As soon as you die, like, that's it. As soon as you get into a situation where you don't have a tool to get out of this trap, you just have to suicide and start from scratch. You get into situations where almost everybody will, once they get a fairly good maze and a bit of cash, they will just wait in their house for other people to come to them. Well, which is not really that much fun. And you can... There's things, too, where if you break into someone's house and you kind of fuck up their maze, you can leave it in a state that is unsolvable for anybody else, or you can totally just fuck it up. And so what happened for me last night was I had a maze, and somebody came through... They must have had a ton of money, because they had, like, 99... They had item caps of a bunch of different items, which are supposed... It's supposed to be hard to get. Like, you're supposed to go in with... Okay, I got sort of 2 items that'll get rid of electric floors, and I got, 2 items to get rid of dogs, but you still gotta be careful, because you can only make 2 mistakes, and then you're fucked. But someone came in with 99 of 2 different items and basically just cut a hole through my maze, and after that, everybody else could just go in and steal all my stuff for free. So I got up this morning and had no money, no items, a totally busted maze, and then when I went into my maze to, like, repair it and look at it, I just instantly died as well.
See, I don't understand why, because your own dog will only kill you if you go in to test your maze, because it treats you as a robber. If you just go in to start building shit, there's no way you could have died.
I have no idea. I've had it too where they'll rob your maze and then electric floors will be on because they've triggered them, and then you'll go back in build mode, and sometimes, only sometimes, it seems like this might be maybe pre-alpha bug, if you don't, like, delete the floor and rebuild it, if you just walk over it, it'll kill you like an electric floor, and it'll be like, you died. You're like,
even when you're in house mode.
Great. Yeah. So I'm not, like, I spent probably a good, I don't know, 10... No, maybe not that much. Maybe like 6 or 7 hours playing it, and I still am not 100% sure why I'm dying all the time. It's a really small gameplay loop, and it just is frustrating and not very rewarding.
Well, I think it's rewarding to a point when you get something like you had that was really successful. You had that one maze going on for quite a while, and I had one that I felt was good, but nobody was robbing it because I spent all my money right away. And the way it works is that you get this list of houses once you're done that you can go and rob, and it shows you how much money they have. how many people have attempted to rob it, and how many people have died attempting to rob it. So ideally, you want to find the people that have $2,000 and then 0 and 0, because that means they're just starting. So you can go in and kill their wife and open the safe and get all the
that
money.
means that they are playing the game for the first time. They don't know how to build a maze. They just left their house undefended, so there's $2,000 up for grabs. So the way that it ended up turning into was, because no one wants to die, you are just refreshing this list of houses over and over and over again, waiting for this new player to appear, and then everybody races to be the first to rob them and get that $2,000 because it's just free money, and then people have incentive to actually come to your maze.
Yeah, and I had a great maze. I mean, it wasn't all that challenging, but I was hoping to build off of it, but I don't think anybody was robbing me because I had $54. I'm like, yeah, this would be okay. I'll just sit here and refresh this. And I came back the next morning to find my wife dead on the floor in front of the door, and it's like, at that point, all right, all that work gone. I mean, you can still continue without your wife, but I don't understand how that mechanic works, because your wife carries half of your money.
Yeah, but then once she's dead, then the vault carries 100% of your money.
It's just you lose that dynamic in the maze of your wife being able to escort your kids out with a gun.
It's fine, though. The best thing that could happen to you would be build your maze, if your family dies, that's great, because then you don't have to have a totally empty path for them to get out. Suddenly your maze just got way harder, because now every single path can have traps.
That's true.
I don't know. It's not like it needs something. It just evolves into the best houses are totally unsolvable, because it's, a 1 in 20 chance, but you have to do it like 30 times. And the shitty people also can't really get into the game because they use most of their money building their maze, and then nobody comes to rob them, or else they spend all their money on items and try to rob one of the best houses and then just fail because it's impossible.
Yeah, it's pretty intimidating to walk into a house because you have that fog of war, and you can only see 2 or 3 spaces beyond you, but then if there's a door, you can't see anything past it. So a lot of the times you'll open a door and there'll be a dog on the other side, and you're just instantly dead. So
or a lot of people will walk one step into your house and then go, fuck this, and walk right back out, which is not super satisfying either.
There's not enough incentive to actually encourage you to try and go rob somebody, because it's easier to just wait for somebody to die in your maze. But pretty soon I feel like the community is just going to turn into this, everybody's sitting around waiting and nobody's actually trying to solve each other's maze, because the consequences are so drastic.
It sort of already has.
It would be, for good comparison, it would be like playing Dark Souls, and it's already hard enough as it is, where you lose all your souls, but it would be the equivalent of, if you die, you start the game over.
Yeah, they need something in there to... I don't know how they would do it, but just something that, even if you go through and you die, you feel like you're making forward progress, at least. Your account is leveling up or something, or even if it's just aesthetic stuff. Like, just so that I haven't spent the last 5 hours building a maze and robbing all these guys that only have $2,000 and building up my bankroll here, and then I went into somebody's house and it turns out that their house was left in such a way that the second I walk in, I die, and now I have to start all over. Like, it's not worth it going into anyone else's house, because you never know if someone's already fucked that maze up and you are walking into... Sometimes the first square in can be death. Mm-hmm. If someone else has messed their maze up.
Because you have to take one step in and then come back out before you can leave.
Yeah, and it's totally possible to have a dog on that first square if someone else has successfully robbed them before.
What if that happens if you just close the game out and come back in?
You die. You can't close the game in someone... You can't close it in someone's house, and if you just, Control-Alt-Delete end the process, you just die. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. It would be a lot better if they had some sort of basic leveling system. Like, for every X amount of people you have die in your own maze, you can not level up, but the next time you start, you'll have $2,500 to start with instead of $2,000, and then you'll have $3,000, and something to that effect where you actually feel like you're making progress, because there is absolutely no difference between you, the person joining for the very first time, and the person who's been playing it since day one.
Yeah, and there's no incentive to do any of that stuff right now.
Yeah.
Which is too bad, because it is a sweet it's a really interesting concept. But
I was drawn in on concept alone, just because, this is kind of neat. I'd like to see how this would work, but I don't think I may dabble in it again from time to time, but I don't think it's a very big time sink because there's too much consequence for just trying to play the game.
Yeah, it's a school of hard knocks. Oliver, Kevin?
I'm just watching the trailer here, and it's
AMA, the Castle Doctrine.
So
listening to everything that you guys are saying. It's interesting. Go ahead, Kevin.
when you're building your maze, do you have like essentially an infinite amount of space as long as you have the money to fill it with?
No, you're confined. Everybody has the same size house. It's I want to say like 3 screens wide and 4 screens tall or something like that.
You do have a bunch of different types of materials you can use, and they vary in price. The basic one is just $2 for a wooden wall, and that's pretty much what everybody uses to start with. And then you can get electrical conduits through those walls, and those are like $6. And you can go up to concrete and steel walls. And they have switch plates and rotary switch plates and indicator lights and electric floors and powered doors and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. It's just at the very beginning, you can't get any of that really good expensive stuff.
It is a finite space, though. Everybody has the same amount of space, and just like I had a pretty good run going yesterday. I think I had about 23 or 24 people die in my maze. I had used up all my space. My maze was as big as it could be, and now I'm just going back and like making the traps deadlier, replacing wooden walls with steel ones, because you can cut through wooden walls. You can also cut through steel ones, but it costs you more. So it doesn't take too long to max out that maze space. Does that answer your question?
You can max it out at the beginning, you just can't put anything in.
Yeah, if you're like Eric, you can spend literally all your money on wooden walls and have 0 traps and have no money, so no one ever comes to your house.
Hey.
The only reason to go in is to club his wife. You don't even get anything. You're just doing it because fuck you.
Hey, I had one trap where the Chihuahua walked forward and turned on an electrical plate and then killed itself.
Nice.
It's pretty good trap.
It was great. It just got really confusing. My intention was to make it intimidating and daunting enough that people would be like, yeah, fuck this, I'm out of here. And then Matt, I wanted to show him, he's like, oh, you should totally take that door out. So there's a door hiding a dog, so once you would open the door, the dog would kill you.
To give it context, I told him how to make his maze more efficient, and then he couldn't run his own maze properly and died.
I took a wrong turn and the dog killed me.
See, that's not my fault. I told you how to make your maze more lethal, assuming they were taking the correct path.
So here's a question. Like the dogs and the floor traps and everything, you can just buy as many of those as you want as long as you have the money, right?
Yeah.
So could you have just use walls and like build like a maze style labyrinth with all of your squares and then just put dogs everywhere?
Yeah, some people totally do that. The thing is, you have to be able to go through the maze without using any items. They make you do that before anyone else can try it. So as long as you know the exact right way to go, sure.
Genius.
Yep. But
the dogs
you can
are super expensive though.
You can do things. They're not that expensive. They're not the most expensive trap. They're not even close. They're like a quarter of the price of the most expensive trap.
Yeah.
But
what's the most expensive trap?
The powered trapdoor, which
It's like
when
900.
when it has power to it, it is just a regular floor square, and then when it loses power, it becomes a pit that you can only cross with ladders. It's a weird game. I like the maze designing an awful lot because I like to sit there and try and hum and haw and be like, okay, I think they're gonna go, up, because if I was gonna pick away, I'd pick up, and just like trying to design just using game theory almost to try and design an interesting maze, and even doing things like, okay, I'm gonna put these traps here, which I don't have enough money to power right now, but I'm gonna put them here anyways just to intimidate them and see if they don't take this way. And I like the maze building quite a bit. But
it's a lot of fun when you can actually watch the security tapes back of how people try to do your maze.
So yeah, that's the thing too, is every time somebody robs you, if they die, you get whatever money they're holding and whatever items they're holding. And they also leave a security tape so you can watch exactly what path they take, step by step, what items they use. So that's a pretty cool way too to also sort of tweak your maze and see what's working and what's not working.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it needs like, I wish I could just be a builder. I wish I could just build mazes. I have no interest in robbing anybody else, because that's how you die. I just like building mazes and watching people die in my maze.
So there's no like sandbox mode so you can like practice building mazes or whatever?
No.
You just have to go in and spend your money and hope you build an efficient maze?
Yeah, it is for real. Yeah.
So when
and you don't start with enough cash to build a huge maze. You kind of have to start small, but it's like about maximizing your funds at that point. You start with a small maze, but give them a low chance of finding the right way, but everything else is lethal. So hopefully somebody comes in, picks the wrong way, dies, you get more money, you can build it out more, and you just kind of rinse and repeat.
We were trying to actually break the game last night because I had recently died and Matt was having a good roll, so I just logged in and instantly left my house so that my house would show up on his list of 0-0 with $2,000. And it worked once, but I think the system caught on to us because we were trying to repeat it over and over and over, because I just wanted to inflate his cash load.
Yeah, you can only rob somebody once every 24 hours. Success or failure. So it stops you from going in, dying, and then just going back to the same house and being like, well, I know I'm not supposed to go down, trying the same house again and going up instead, right?
Yeah,
that makes sense to limit people like you, Eric.
Stops you from brute forcing it.
Matt was the one who brought it up. He's like, hey, let's try to break this.
Yeah, because I had a good maze and I need some money, man.
Yeah.
So there you go. Just buy like 100 copies of this game right now, and then just have every other account except one just feeding money into your one account.
Well, the thing is, other people can do it too. If other people are quicker than you are, then they get in there and they get the money. I don't know. It's a fun little experiment. It's just too frustrating, I think, for the layman.
It is. I don't like that feeling of, okay, the last hour and a half that I just spent designing this maze are gone because I fucked up walking through it.
Yeah, and you know that moment, the worst part is that moment is going to inevitably come. You know there is going to be a time when you're going to die and it's going to wipe all your progress and you're going to start from scratch. And it, like, sort of makes me play in a way I don't want to. Like, I don't want to do anything because what if I die?
The other thing, too, is if you can sit there and meticulously plan out everything, be like, all right, if he moves here, the dog's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to do this. There's always, as your maze gets more complex, there's going to be things that you overlook. The one thing that killed me was, so every time you move, it's alternating moves. You take a step, the dog takes a step. You take a step, dog takes a step. And it tries to preempt you. So if you go down, it's going to go down. It's not just going to follow directly in your path. So I got to a spot where it was 4 open squares, and I accidentally went over once, one too many squares, but I needed to come down and go back across, and there was no way I could get out of that situation. I could just keep going up and down forever and ever and ever. And then I finally was like, well, fuck it, dead.
You ran your maze improperly.
Yeah.
That's good, but you fell into your own trap.
Exactly, because I didn't anticipate shitty movement. Not on the game's part, but just me making a mistake. It's frustrating.
They should do a thing where they give you so much money to build your first maze, but you also have, like, your wife hangs on to so much money or something, so that there is an incentive for you to at least build a decent maze, and then you still have something there for people to steal. Because if you want to get any kind of protection at all, you basically need to spend pretty close to all your starting funds, and then it's not worth robbing you, because they have to go through a maze for $400, forget it. There's other houses out there with hundreds of thousands of dollars. You might as well try one of those.
And that leaves you in that position of, if I want people to come into my maze, I'm going to need more money, therefore I have to go out and rob people, and you're probably going to die.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, when you die, that's it. Like,
that's it.
That sort of sucks. Like, because, yeah, the way you guys are sort of explaining things, the way you die and then you lose everything and then you have to start from zero again. That's kind of shitty. And yeah, the way you're saying your wife should be holding on to some sort of nest egg, just so that there is incentive for people to come in. Like,
yeah, you need something to get you in the game. Is what it is, because the only way I've found to do it is you build that maze and then you just click there and you refresh that list of houses over and over and over again until somebody makes a new house and you get that $2,000. Which is, I might put a little bit of time into it, maybe on Wednesday when it comes out on Steam.
I think it'll be interesting to see how the game develops, because he may do updates to it and change how.
Yeah, I'm sure he will, but I might check it out just on Wednesday, because there's going to be a lot of new players, and there's going to be a lot of those houses. There's going to be a lot of free cash up for grabs. So maybe I'll try build a little maze and get a little money, see what happens.
I got my Steam code for it today.
Yeah, so did I. I actually just got an email.
And I can't get it to work. So.
Well, it is alpha.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked into it yet.
It's
That's the Castle Doctrine.
If you want to experience something that it's unique, I've never played a game like it before. It's definitely unique. If you're really into those different experiences, give it a shot. I mean, it's worth $8. I'd say for sure it's worth $8 just to try and experience.
Yeah, grab it now, because it goes up on Wednesday. Up to $16, and it's worth mentioning too. They're billing it as massively multiplayer because you can, as long as you're not in your house, even if you're offline, your house is available to be robbed. So it sort of is massively multiplayer. You could rob anybody's house at any time.
So when you're repopulating this list or whatever, and is it just like a group of names, like, hey, the Matt Eads house?
Well, no, it gives you a randomly generated name every time you die, so I'll be like, Harry David Thompson, and it's just all 3 names, all randomly generated. So you don't know who anybody is, which stops you from, like, hey, I'm the Matt Eads, just come to my place, I'll give you free money, just keep running my maze, I'll tell you how to beat it, I'll give you free cash.
Right. But it only gives you, like, the one name? Or does it give you a bunch?
You'll get 3. You'll get some, whatever, it's Harry David Thompson, and then you'll die and you'll be, Michael Joseph Smith. And then you'll die and you'll be...
Oh, I get it.
George Carlin.
But this list is filled with those names, and then you can just pick? Do you have, like, a preview? Can you preview this house?
No.
Or is it...
No. You can see how much money they have. You can see how many people have died trying to rob their house, and you can see how many people have tried in total to rob their house. But that total number is not really useful, because a lot of people will go in, take one step, and go, fuck this, and then leave.
So
and
why
that
would
still
they do
counts
that?
as an attempted robbery.
Why would somebody just walk in and then leave?
If you walk in and see the house, like, it just looks daunting, you can tell. Or if there's a dog right by the doorway, you're just like, you know what, there's too much at risk.
Yeah, also, a lot of mazes will put you in a position where you walk in and you have to make a choice between 4 different options, like 4 different paths. 3 of those will be lethal. Standing where you are will be lethal on the next turn. So you either feel confident and have the equipment you need to get through the maze, or you just say, fuck this, and you piece it.
I'm out!
Yeah. A lot of people come into my maze because I would always put a dog right by the door because they'll chase you. So it made it so you could never double back, or if you picked a wrong, like a dead end, the dog would get you. So a lot of people would come and see the dog and then just be like, fuck it, peace, I'm out. It's interesting. It's worth a look, for sure. And who knows what that game will turn into.
When did this game hit the streets? Or it's like, I mean, this early access or whatever?
I have no idea when it came out. I don't...
You can only get it through the website right now. It'll be out on Steam next week.
Yeah, but you buy it on the website, you get a Steam key when it comes out. Blah, 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 blah. They're doing, like a... what is it? For every $500 you have in game or something, they'll convert that into, it's like a contest. You can win real money, but only the top % of players will get paid out. There's like 3,000 real dollars, and they have a conversion rate in game. And if you make the top percentile of the players, you'll get a portion of that $3,000.
To me, I think is real broken, because if you look on that list, there's some people that have $1.5 million. I don't know how they're doing that.
Well, they made a great maze, and they never had anybody with the 99 items roll through their house until they were ready to deal with that.
And you see,
and then it just snowballs out of control. If you got a great maze, you never even have to log in. People just kill themselves in it over and over and over and over and over again, and you just make money, which is kind of cool. But
I think that person with the 99 items, that had to have been a glitch, because when you go into somebody's house and leave, You drop all your crap.
Unless you successfully rob them. You still drop all your crap, but you still rob them.
Yeah, so who's going to have
And you
enough
leave
money
a hole
to purchase...
through the maze. I
who's gonna
couldn't
have enough
tell
money
you.
to
I have
purchase
no
100
fucking
of
idea.
everything?
Not 100 of everything. He just had 100 waters and 100 clubs, which
That's
was enough to... That was enough to beat my... club all my dogs and throw water on all my electric floors, which was enough to get through my maze.
For what?
So
$700?
No, it was up to like I was up to like almost 30,000 last night.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, it was rolling in, man. Like that maze, a lot of people went in and died for some big cash in there, and then it got too high before. Like this was all last night. This was between 11 p.m. last night and 8 a.m. this morning. I didn't have time to log on and fix my maze before someone rolled through, blew a hole through it, took half the money. Someone else rolled through, blew a hole through it, took all the money, and then people just basically followed that same path that they cut through my maze, and I had like $70 this morning.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Keep the show moving, Oliver. Next, you would be like, okay, Castle Doctrine. You play any other games, Matt?
Any other games, Matt?
Yeah, I played Ghost Recon Online this week.
What the fuck is that?
It's on Steam.
What is
and Ghost Recon Online. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Online, or GROW, as the acronym is, which is super fucking stupid, but it's
GROW.
Yeah, and this is GROW.
GROW.
It's on Steam. It's in early access, free to play. Available.
You weren't about early access.
The operative word there was free to play.
Yeah. You said it as I was saying it. Keep going.
Only available in Canada right now, apparently, according to their little early access page there.
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
It's up there on Steam. It's up there. Let me make sure I'm saying the right name.
Let me
open my...
BioShock Infinite for... No, sorry.
No, that's not... No, not by Ghost.
No, I saw
hang on.
$80. What was that all about?
I couldn't tell you. I don't see it on here now either. Where did I? It did make me log in through like Uplay and all that shit. It's totally there though. If you search Ghost Recon Online, I see it right there. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Online.
What the fuck did I just see for $80?
Free to play.
Totally lost it. Anyways,
there's lots of stuff on there. There's like software. There's like design software and stuff on Steam.
Tell us about Ghost Recon Online. Tell us anything.
Sure.
Ghost Recon Online.
Okay, I'll talk, and you as the host stop and ask me questions where you deem appropriate.
Can we ask questions?
Sure. I mean, we got all four of us on this podcast. Like, make some banter. So it's a third-person shooter. I think Advanced. Was it Advanced Warfare? Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare?
Warfighter.
Advanced Warface? Whatever it was. That was where they started introducing, like, when you're close to your squad, you get, like, the picture-in-picture thing. You can kind of see... You link up with them, and you get info about them. They sort of are still doing that, in that when you're close to your squad, you... if you see an enemy, it'll tag it for anybody who's linked up with you. And you also regenerate health or something, and you get other bonuses as well. There's gear. Like, guns have stats, damage numbers, there's damage rolls, but it is a third-person cover-based shooter. You can buy guns if you want. It is very, very pay-to-win, if that's how you want to play it. You could go in there and slap down $50 and buy the best gun and buy the best armor and buy all the best abilities and fucking just face roll people.
What's this game called, and where do I send my money?
Ghost Recon Online. You can send the money to Quebec.
All right.
R.E. Ubisoft.
Be like, hello, Mr. Ubisoft. Could you please take my money?
Yeah.
Here's direct access to my bank account.
Mr. George
Please
Ubisoft.
Limit it to $150 a day.
So yeah, it's kind of boring because it's mostly capture the point, sort of that tug-of-war style. There's two teams, there's 1 point in the middle, and there are 2 points on either side, but those points are locked until you gain control of the point in front of it. you understand what I'm saying? So everyone
Yes.
races for C, and then once you get C, you can go to B, and then you can go to A, and then
So
you
it's
win.
kind of like it's like rush mode in Battlefield 3.
Sort of, except in rush mode, one team is always defending. In
Oh,
this, either team can capture and push both ways.
So it's tug of war.
Yeah, like I said when I said tug of war. Yeah. But most of the maps, my problem with it is that most of the maps are these narrow corridors with a point in the middle, so you get both teams will sort of get under cover and group up at the kind of the front line where the fight is, and then sometimes nothing will fucking happen. No one will cap any points. Everyone will just sit there and do nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it's the kind of shooter where you're not running around in the open. You can't be running out behind cover because you'll just get gunned down. So if you don't have dudes moving up with you, and if you don't have people like helping cover you as you try to move up and take these points, then you just fucking sit there. It seems like a really, really boring third-person shooter. And also, I played against one guy who had obviously spent money on the game, and boy, did he fucking just destroy us. So that's even a little more shittiness there.
Well, come on. He
remember-
spent money, so he deserves to win. That's the rule, right?
I guess.
That's our rule.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't seem real great. It doesn't look real sharp. I remember seeing a trailer at some press event. I want to say E3, like the year before this one. But I remember seeing that trailer and hearing them talk about this hot new Ghost Recon engine is going to look as good as Battlefield. It's the next thing. It's going to be free. And it fucking sure does look like a free game. I'll tell you that much. You're getting what you pay for. I don't know. If you need something to kill a couple hours and you happen to live in Canada, it's there for you.
I remember the original Ghost Recons on PS2, like Ghost Recon and then Jungle Storm, being a ton of fun for squad-based multiplayer.
Thunder, the fuck was the Thunder Isle or something?
Thunder...
That was the first one I had. Thunder, whatever it was.
Island Thunder.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, they were great.
Yeah, they were, the thing that always made Ghost Recon separate from Call of Duty or Rainbow Six was they had that cool linking up with your squad mates, which I always liked. I liked the double vision thing, and I liked the idea of like SOP, like yeah, we're linked up now. And they also had sweet gadgets, which was all about Ghost Recon.
Well, you actually felt like you're playing special ops missions. Rainbow Six just always devolved into massive gunfights. Call of Duty is Call of Duty, but this one was kind of that balancer between Splinter Cell and Rainbow Six.
It's methodical in a way. You got to take your time. You got to use cover. You got to move up with your squad.
Yeah, and then when you're playing with somebody else, I love that. Those are some of the best multiplayer games.
Yeah,
they
sort of condensed that experience down, or they tried to anyways, but they did it too much. Mm-hmm. There isn't enough there. There isn't enough fun gadgets. There isn't enough. Like the environments are just boring as shit. It's just narrow hallways, literally all narrow hallways. It seemed, yeah, they took too much out of it. They needed to leave a little bit more of the Ghost Recon kind of flavor in there. Like, yeah, let me have a gadget that makes my team see through walls.
Maybe you can buy that gadget.
Maybe. I didn't get way into it. There's classes as well. You're picking a class and you're leveling them up independently. And as you level them up, you get access to new abilities. But they also... So as you play, you're earning a free currency to buy items and to buy abilities and to buy armor. But the classes, each one of them has their own pool of that free currency. So if I play the Assault class, which I was doing, I played him for the 2 hours I played, and then I was going to go roll, and like, okay, let's see what this sniper guy's all about. Well, you're right back at square one. You don't have any unlocked abilities, you don't have any money, you don't have anything, and you just...
I mean, that's just how Battlefield was too, right? You unlock the perks and everything for each individual class.
Yeah.
Sort of. There was a little bit of crossover, at least in Battlefield. Like, you're leveling up your general rank so that even if I roll into a different class who's level 1, I have enough shit that I can still hold my own. In this, it's very, very much not the case. Because as you level up, you're getting better gear, which is increasing your stats, which is doing things like giving you more life. Making bullets deal more damage, making bullets deal less damage to you. So as you level up, you are getting noticeably more powerful. And it's that like, well, you know, if you spend a couple bucks, you wouldn't have to wait through these early levels. Like, no, thanks. I'll just go play one of the 50 other shooters that everybody in the world has that we've already paid money for. Like, I don't know who this game is directed at. It's for those people who don't have a fucking shooter game to play right now.
Directed for Canadians that don't want to play games.
That's right. Directed at Canadian citizens who don't have any other shooter game in the world, because no matter what you're into, they're all basically better at it than Ghost Recon Online is.
They saw Kev's transaction come through and they said, Jesus Christ, people in Canada are willing to pay this kind of money.
Yeah.
Build a game. Go.
Somebody spends $150 on Marvel Puzzle Quest. Fucking look what happens.
God damn it, Kevin.
Is the Ghost Recon name tied to the Division? Is that
no,
like the Division Ghost or Ghost
no,
Recon?
no.
Oh, okay.
They are both Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
Whatever's properties,
God
but
rest his soul.
yeah, they're not. No, the Division is not Ghost Recon.
The Division is something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, me too. It seems a lot. There's a lot of those, like Destiny, the Division. There's a lot of those MMO in quotes shooters, first-person shooters that are good. I guess the Division is third-person, but there's going to be a lot of those in this next year.
Yeah.
And it's a totally new thing to this generation almost. So I'm interested to see how they pan out.
Yeah. So Ghost Recon Online, no good.
Yeah, it's
don't spend your money.
Yeah, the price is right if you live in Canada and want to check it out. Like, it's free, so I killed a couple of hours in it, which is okay, I guess, but I wasn't having like a spectacular time. I was sort of doing it because, like, well, I probably got to talk about this on the show on Sunday, so I guess I should at least see what this game is all about. And then I played a bunch of Terra, just because there's fucking nothing else to do right now. So I burned like
Is Terra that one
6 hours
MMO
in
that
it.
we talked about like a long time ago?
Yeah, it went free to play in the last year. So
Oh shit!
I had like a level 6 dude or something that I got up to a level 27 dude. Yeah, I don't know.
Free to play on Steam, or where do you get it?
If only we had some sort of
Device to look.
Yeah, some sort of engine to filter through the massive World Wide Web.
As a human who likes conversation, I could
Yeah.
ask somebody to possibly
It says
simulate.
This is the
Google literally right there. It says Google
Such
right
an
on the very
asshole.
top of our broadcast.
I'm
This
trying
is
to stimulate conversation so that he could inform our users.
It
in
is
the
not on
conversation.
Steam. It is
That's
not on
exactly
Steam.
it. Let's stop before you go on. That's exactly it. I have actually closed all my browser windows and all the shit that distracts me because I felt like I was concentrating more on that shit than concentrating on what you were saying. And I'm like, this is shitty. I need to start engaging in this conversation. So if you want me to start Googling Terra and distracting myself and not talk to you,
You're right. Fact-checking will be the death of these podcasts.
Exactly.
Because it's just going to turn into 3 hours of us looking at internet windows.
typing away.
I don't think it's on Steam. No.
God help myself if I find myself on Reddit.
Yeah. Yeah, just stay away. Reddit's a bad place. Some dark shit on there.
Reddit's really cool. Have you seen those new peculiar Putu memes?
No.
Those are
What?
so interesting.
It's...
People
you
are
know who
posting-
posts fucking memes? Human garbage. Subhuman garbage.
People are posting just the weird shit that they do, and it's just the peculiar Putu they call it. And,
What is a Putu?
I have no idea. It's like a weird looking bird. But if you look it
Okay.
up on Reddit, there's just a ton of them now. And there's weird things like, I will walk around my house with my eyes closed to see how good of a blind person I'd be. And it's just peculiar shit that people do. It ranges all the way from
That's interesting.
whenever I clip my
would be
toenails.
the beast blind person. I'm so good at navigating my house without any lights on or anything.
There was one
Anyway.
weird one I saw. It was like when I clip my toenails, I use the big ones as toothpicks.
Oh,
Like,
that's nasty.
That sounds like a new
That's
app
nasty,
that just
man.
came out called Whisper, and it's basically this anonymous app where you can reveal all of your deepest, darkest
Confessions.
secrets.
I
Yeah.
heard about that.
Stupid. People turn it into like
That
this
seems fucked up.
motivational thing. I was hoping to get on there and just read some dark, nasty shit
So
about
wait.
people.
What? So it's So it's like Twitter but anonymous? Is that
Yes. And
Yeah.
sort of the idea?
Yeah, so what happens is you put this confession in there, you know, like I drink my own piss or something like that.
It's
And
sterile. Once it comes out of the kidneys,
it'll
what's the big deal? What's the big deal?
Here's the best part. It suggests a background.
There's vitamins and nutrients in there,
9
and you're
times
just...
out of 10, it's going to suggest a background of some half-naked woman.
Bear Grylls did it on Man vs. Wild, and he's Bear Grylls. I
That
don't
guy's
see
a
why I have to
freaking
go on this
hack.
app and confess that I one time drank my own pee. What is the big fucking deal?
I'm not going to go into like
All right?
nasty
It's not somebody else's pee.
bullshit. Come up with anything. Just come up with like the deepest, darkest crap that if you were to tell your friends, they'd be like, "And I'm done hanging out with you." If you were to tell your family, they would probably execute you.
I
is
honestly
an
don't
app
think
where
I
you
have
can-
any secrets like that.
I don't think anybody has any secrets like that.
I'm pretty open about the weird shit that I do, because, you know, it's good for a laugh on the show. So it kind of all comes out here anyways.
But it's just like super like skeletons in your closet, like unmentionables, where you have this but this app allows you to have this completely anonymous, like quote unquote anonymous, because like of course the NSA is looking in and connecting these lines, right? But you're anonymous to the people reading it, so you can just spill your guts out onto the internet like that and just get it off your chest if you need to. Because I've gone through and read a few, and I'm like, wow. That's
Did you post any?
No.
Did you put any confessions?
Nope, like you said, I'm pretty open on this podcast and just
Well,
let everything
okay,
out
can we
anyways.
try and, like, let's say that you had someone put a gun to your head and said, "You got to post a confession, and it's got to be real." What would you post on there?
But here's what it turns
Big
into, though.
concept.
It's like I'm on Whisper right now, and everybody, instead of like revealing crap, it's like everyone says I'm immature for having green hair. It was my decision. I'm an art student, and I did it for. It's like this bullshit artsy hippie crap.
Welcome to
Well,
the
of course you can
internet.
get the- yeah, of course
No,
you
screw
can get
that.
wanna
I'm
have
with
a
Derek.
picture-
Fuck the artsy hitsy crap.
I want to have a picture of like some bloody sheets and somebody going, "I did it."
Well, that's probably not gonna fly.
I just, you know,
But I mean, it's that type of shit, right? Like, they
I have a
another
confession. I know what I could confess. One time, you know those big can displays, like where they have like huge pyramids of cans in like Safeway or wherever? I knocked one of those over with my cartwheel and totally blamed it on this like 5-year-old kid who didn't even fucking touch it. I'm like, that wasn't me. Must have been the kid. I gotta go.
You said cartwheel just now, and I thought you did an actual like physical cartwheel.
Oh yeah. I was turning cartwheels and whoosh, right into it, man. Yeah, I knocked. It wasn't even glass. It's not like they shattered. I just knocked a bunch of cans over and blamed it on a kid. And his
You're a
parents
bad
probably
person.
beat the shit out of him on the way home. So
Hopefully.
sorry.
you could put that on Whisper and you'd probably be at the top because there's other dumb shit. Like, I'm the type of person that if I had money, my pets would live 10 times better than me. How is that a friggin' secret confession?
And who cares? Like,
Yeah.
shut up. That's like lame as shit.
Yeah, that's not even a bad thing. That's like, I'm gonna go on there and just post positive shit.
Like-
one time, I anonymously gave $500 to charity.
It's so dumb. It could have been cool, but people turned it into this motivational crap.
They have a
Welcome to.
thing.
That's how I feel about Reddit.
Yeah, they have a thing on Reddit. And it's another meme called Confession Bear, and it's exactly the same thing.
Get that pen out of my face.
But I read one once where it was this Indian kid, like East Indian, and I guess in their in their
I like how you're
religion or their
trying to sound
beliefs
not racist.
or whatever, in their religion or their beliefs or something, they feel like masturbation. They're against masturbation, and
Because they
Just
crazy.
like, isn't that a Catholic belief as well?
Yeah, every sperm is sacred.
something like that. Yeah, your sperm is sacred, and when you ejaculate, you're essentially giving away your life force.
No,
It's
you're allowed to
genocide.
jerk off. You're just not allowed to have sex for the purpose of not getting a woman pregnant.
Fuck, I don't know. Anyways, to the point of this thing, this Indian kid was like, he believed what his parents said, but he liked masturbation because obviously he's an Indian, or not just an Indian kid, just a little boy.
Whoa! Because he's a kid, not because he's
Yeah,
an
'cause he's
Indian
a boy.
kid.
I'm sorry.
Holy shit!
But no, in Oliver's defense, that was relevant information to the story.
It is.
Oh yeah, no, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
But me saying that, yeah, whatever. Because he's a little boy, he liked masturbation. So what he would do is when he would blow his load, he'd actually eat it.
Oh.
So in a sense, he's not
Yeah,
wasting his life
I
force. He's
coulda-
putting it back in his thing. But that was a confession bear, and I'm like, holy fuck, that is a confession bear.
I could have done without hearing that
Yeah,
one.
that
I
is
don't
a
know.
confession and a half right there.
So
Yeah.
I've been pretty deep into Reddit, but go ahead.
Reddit's the fucking worst. Reddit is the worst.
Reddit is not the worst. Reddit is pretty
The worst.
interesting.
There's a lot of
comments.
shit. There is a lot of interesting and witty comments and interesting content, but it's 90% of people go on there because whatever happened in their life, so they make this dumbass meme about this thing that nobody gives a fuck about. No one cares if you got a parking ticket and you didn't deserve it, and then you made this meme. No one gives a fuck. No one cares if your girlfriend dumped you and you didn't deserve it. Who cares? There's so much of that shit. So much. And
Yeah,
it's
but you're
like
the kind of guy
totally
who
disguised.
goes
It's like,
looking for good pictures on the internet for our podcast cover every week, and these are the ones that you're using. The fucking stupid ones that have been on Reddit for 6 months, and you're like, hey man, that's a pretty sweet picture, and then you'll use it for
I don't
our
know
podcast
no,
image.
I don't. That has never happened. I don't know if you even know
How
what
do
you're
you
talking
know?
about.
How do you
I'm
know
talking
if
about.
Googling something it didn't originate on Reddit?
I have never. It's not true. I did use a meme.
You do all the time.
I use that humorous. I found this humorous meme
Yes.
way back in the day. But usually, I just post a picture of like a video game that we talked about or something dumb, some random funny
I'm sorry,
picture.
our picture
I'm not posting.
from last week that was some
No,
black and white.
you don't understand. You don't understand Reddit because you're only fucking ever on the internet to play Marvel Puzzle Quest.
And to do this show.
There
thank
are
you.
like 5 stock images. There's a picture of the girl in the panties wearing the hat. There's the picture of the bear. There's the picture of the bird. And there's fucking the picture of the frog and the baby eating sand. And then people just put this dumb text above it and below it and say like, "Here's this dumb fact about my life." And then the bottom text should be, "Oh wait, nobody fucking cares." There, I am winning Reddit. Give me
I
all
have
the
never
karma.
seen a single one of these images you just talked about. Baby
Because
eating
you
sand,
don't
like,
go on
Yeah.
Reddit.
It's a thing where, if you're not on Reddit, you don't
Screaming into my
not
mic.
understand any of this shit. But once you're on Reddit, you recognize all this shit. Like, because even the baby eating sand, I wouldn't have gotten that until like last week when I saw a meme about the origin of that fucking successful kid or whatever.
Yeah,
they
and
call it.
then you get into shit like that where you get memes about the origins of memes and memes about how people are using these
Well, there's
memes
a-
wrong. Where do the memes stop?
There's a
Yeah.
website called Know Your Meme, and it actually tells the origin of all of them.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
It's gotten to a point where I have friends who basically speak exclusively in those fucking memes now. It's
yeah,
like,
that's
dude,
true.
I'm
shut up, stop.
I'm
no.
falling down this rabbit hole that I am actually saying that. Like, I'm calling people scumbag Steve, scumbag Stacy.
I hope that they just punch you in the face. That is.
I know,
oh.
I know. I'm just, it's what's happening to me.
If somebody
It's all
said
my
that to
cousin's
me
fault.
and I knew what it was, I would punch him in the face.
The only meme that I get any sort of entertainment out of is the Velociraptor.
No, they're all stupid. They are all
They
so
are,
stupid.
but that's the only one that's even remotely mildly entertaining.
Anyways,
I can get behind some of the super pointless ones that aren't you can't in any way relate them to your life. They're just dumb. Like the bad pun, whatever that one is. The bad pun one, I'm all about that one. Because it's just stupid puns. It's not, oh, I didn't, I shit my pants in the superstore. End of story. Like a lot of those fucking things are.
who the
Cops are coming.
for?
Yeah, I know.
Obviously for Eric.
Yeah.
They're getting close. It's because this guy was screaming into his microphone for the last 5 minutes. Somebody called the cops.
The audience is gonna see like the door bust down
Yeah.
and one of us be dragged away in cuffs.
Head's gonna go down into the desk, and then they're gonna put the hand over the camera, and that's it. Done.
I don't even know how we got on this. I know I started talking about Peculiar Poo-Too, but go ahead, Matt. You were saying something.
He was yelling
I
at me
think I'm
for
done.
asking
I don't
how
remember.
to get Terra free to play.
Right. Terra's not on Steam, but there is a trailer for it on Steam, which is weird. You just Google it. You want to play it? It's free. It looks nice. It has it's sort of like it's like Guild Wars combat, except where Guild Wars sort of did away with the trinity of RPGs, tank, healer, damage. This one still totally embraces that, which is okay. It's great. I don't know. It's free. It's a time waster in the long winter of no video games. I think that's all I played.
Long winter of no video games. You know what I call that?
Every winter?
My trophy chase in Metal Gear.
How's that going?
It's not going.
No, you gave up.
No, those trophies are so fucking hard to get.
I bought an
Instead-
Xbox One this week.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Huh.
it's on the way.
What are you gonna play? Nothing. Nothing till March.
Killer Instinct.
This is
Oh yeah, because you and fighting games have such a long and history relationship.
Rise, maybe.
Matt is the exact target audience that they were going for with Titanfall. He's going to buy the system just exclusively for Titanfall and then be done with it.
No, I'm also buying it for other exclusives that are releasing this year. It's just Titanfall happens to be the first one, so
What are
I
you
might
gonna
as well
do-
get it now.
And I'm not saying this is going to happen, but what are you going to do if Titanfall just absolutely blows?
What am I going to do if Titanfall is like any other EA release in the last 12 months? Battlefield, SimCity, to name just a couple real good ones.
So you're high.
I don't know.
Your
I don't
hopes aren't
know.
that high.
I'm gonna fucking chuck that. I'm gonna go Xbox on. Xbox on. Oh fuck it. I'll just use the button. Xbox off, and then it'll turn off, and then I'll be like, oh, nice, cool, yeah, great. The other reason I want to get it is because, and this one's dumb, super dumb. I'm out of HDMI ports on my TV. There's only 3. And so when I want to have my computer, my PS4, my cable box, and my PS3 hooked up, I have to alternate one. But if I get the Xbox, I can put that cable box through the Xbox.
They have
Yeah,
things
yeah.
called HDMI switchers.
I'm saving a port here, man. I'm gonna
And they
get
are
2
cheaper.
devices.
Spend $500 on an extra HDMI port. Good
Yeah,
for you.
exactly. And I can control it with my voice. I want to say, Xbox, turn to channel 200, and have it go to channel 200 and go, oh, that's neat. I'll probably never, ever use that ever again. But, you know, it'll be cool. We can play around with it. We'll see if you guys can, like, turn it off across the internet or something. I don't know.
So the whole point of buying the Xbox One was for an extra HDMI port and to
Yep.
see if we control you.
Yeah,
Okay.
$500. Well spent.
I'm on board.
I kind of
Can I
miss the days
interest
of
you
having-
in a Marvel Puzzle Quest account?
I also, there was I guess Titanfall went into, they're calling it a closed alpha, but there was a bunch of footage leaked this week. And it was one of those things where it was up for a day, and then they went, well, that's not supposed to be up, so they ripped it all down. But, you know, I watched 20 minutes of Titanfall and went, man, I need an Xbox. Yeah, I really need an Xbox. And then I bought that Xbox. So
You are highly impulsive, aren't you?
I don't know if you've met me over the last 4 years that we've been talking, but yes. Yes, I am. Let me tell you about Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Let me tell you about Final Fantasy 11 that I don't know where the disc is. Like, I have a wall of just... what the fuck is MotorStorm? Have I even played that game?
MotorStorm was a launch title on the PS3.
Yeah.
System mover.
I got a hot copy of MotorStorm, which looks unopened.
I've got a lot of sealed games on my shelf too.
Yeah, there's just a wall of bad decisions. Wish I'd, like...
I always just open them. Like, I never leave things in the wrappers. Like, I always just open them, even though, like, that... Because I mentioned last week that Amber bought me not Bioshock, Dead Island on my birthday last year, October. But I immediately took the wrapping off that and, like, looked at it.
Smelled the non-existent manual.
Yep, and just put that on my shelf. I can't help but open those things.
Well, in 20 years, when MotorStorm is like the hot property to own on this vintage PS3, I'm just like, I got a sealed copy, man. Just hanging out,
I
just
said that
waiting.
10 years ago when I refused to open Kingdom Hearts 2.
There are some people who like Kingdom Hearts, I bet.
A sealed copy, original, launch day.
Collector's edition or anything?
No,
Just
I've got the collector's guide, not sealed though.
Hearts might be something.
probably never
So,
going to be worth
Eric,
anything.
was it you who tweeted out that picture that was on fucking Reddit about that person who found that box of sealed Super Mario Brothers 3?
Mm-mm.
Hey,
Oh,
you know,
we'll see.
Somebody tweeted out a picture at me of an article about this person who found a box like filled with these $1,000 bills.
Yeah.
You know when you see something on Reddit and someone says, "You'll never believe what I just found." They didn't just find it. They've had it for 10 years, and they just want to post it on Reddit and have people tell them how fucking cool they are for finding it.
And oftentimes it's not true.
Well, who
Yeah.
cares? Who cares if it's not true? It was a picture, and I saw the
Photoshopped.
box. Who cares, man? It's a cool story. Stop being so cynical.
The internet has turned me into what I am. I can't help it. I can't help it.
Yeah.
I look at that fucking thing a couple hours every day because sometimes you'll see an interesting news story and be like, well, I'll talk about that on the radio. That's less work I gotta do. But, yeah. You guys think I should pack up these Xbox 360 games? What should I do with these? I don't have an Xbox 360. Well, I do, but it is not in working order.
Give
Do you
them
guys
all
think?
to me.
Do you guys think I should buy an Xbox 360 for the sole purpose of maybe one day I want to come back and play these Xbox 360 games?
I would
I
wait.
have over 100 Xbox 360 games just sitting there. Like,
Okay, I changed my mind. I don't want them anymore. That
No,
is
what are you
way
gonna do
too
with
many
it?
games.
they're going to go in a box, they're going to go in the basement, and they're probably going to get left in Grand Prairie when I move.
When the whole new generation of consoles came out, I'm like, well, fuck. No backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 4, so I'm probably gonna have to keep my PlayStation 3 because I still want to get platinums in all Metal Gears. Guess how well that's gonna go.
But it's not
Terribly.
like I don't have any plan to play. It's not like, I'm going to play Halo, but it's like what about
But don't.
What about a year from now when I'm like, you know what I could go for? Some Alone in the Dark. I really want to play Alone in the Dark. If only I had a console to do that on.
I would say wait.
I want to open this
Emulate.
copy of Dead or Alive 4 because
take-
I'm going to see what that game's all about. Shit, I don't have an
Page
Xbox.
from the Factory Sealed podcast, and you're gonna emulate it. And because you do own that, it's gonna be totally
It's
legal.
not illegal. Like, the only game I could think... I like playing The Force Unleashed. I like playing the first Force Unleashed. I'd like to go back and play that. I even have some original Xbox games up there, apparently.
You know what you should have done?
That's shit. You're gonna have to move back to Edmonton when it comes to it.
But
And
they're,
you're
it's
gonna
not like
keep
they're big. It's not like it's, you know... I can fit 500
100
games in a
Xbox
box.
Games. Can
That's
you?
only one shelf, buddy. It's only one. I don't even have.
That's
I only
a
have.
lot of shit you're gonna have to move.
I
It's
only have
probably
like
like
half
two
of them up
boxes.
here.
You can fit all those games in 2 boxes.
It took
No,
me
one
5
box for
boxes
sure.
to
Let me.
get-
I can show you. This is like 50. That's 54 something games on that first
That's-
shelf there.
That's not even that many.
Here,
No,
look
I
at
know.
this.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
Eats. Look at this. I've got about 100 PS3 games up over there, and then in that cabinet is about 150 PS2, PS1,
That's
NES
a
stuff.
lot of shit.
Yeah, it's true.
Those
It
could
is
be-
really
those-
quite disgusting how many games Eric has.
Those could be way more compact.
Yeah, but I'm not going to take them out of their case.
No, I know, but
Just stack them
They don't-
all in the DVDs, just on top of each other.
just discs.
One of those
I don't
disc
know.
spindles.
I like having the games because I am something of a collector, but it seems so stupid to have them but not have any console to play them
that
on.
entire bottom row is all PS1 RPGs.
You don't have a
I'll never
PS1?
play 'em again, but I've got 4 PS1s.
Yeah, so if something ever happened and you're like, I do want to play Legend of the Dragoon or something, you could go dig out that PS1.
Which is exactly why I still have my 4 regular Nintendos, 3 Super Nintendos, 2 Genesis.
So I
3
should buy another
N64s.
Xbox, is what you're telling me.
I
Before
would say-
before the going gets tough, I should buy another Xbox.
I would say wait until, because they're going to do nothing but get cheaper.
Or are they going to get harder to find as they start red ringing out? They're not making them anymore, but they're still failing like crazy.
They stopped making the regular Nintendo 30 years ago, and you can still find them pretty readily.
Yeah, all right, I guess.
Not up here. You've seen the prices of used shit up here.
But those things don't.
Yeah.
Those things are
Yeah,
fucking
but that's from a
sturdy.
store standpoint. Like you can go on Kijiji and probably get a Nintendo for $60.
Yeah, you know what?
Even that's probably a stretch. Probably even cheaper.
I bet there will be a situation where I see a bunch at a garage sale or something and go, yeah, I will take these 4 Xboxes because I'm super stupid. I don't know.
When the hell is the last time you've been to a garage sale?
I stopped, maybe like last year, on the way to your place once for a show. Actually, there was.
Oh,
I saw
that's
a big
right. You
garage sale
told me
sign. I
about
stopped.
that. You're like,
Yeah.
I stopped at the garage sale.
I stopped because some guy like had us. He's like, garage sale. Also, I'm selling speakers. And speakers, huh? Okay, sure. I'll look at some obviously stolen speakers. Didn't buy anything, but you know, I like to check out garage sales. That's where you find. Sometimes you get good finds.
The best are those estate sales where you go to the old people part of town where all the old people are dying, and every Sunday they're just clearing out houses.
Tons of video games at those.
You'd be
senior
surprised
homes.
because sometimes those grandparents will buy consoles to have at their house for their kids, or they've had these old Ataris or ColecoVisions in their attic for 50 years, and 3 nickels and it's yours.
I don't know. That's all I played. Anybody else play any other games?
I played... Oh, Oliver, you have to switch to someone.
I actually got to cut in right here because I just finished #1 in a tournament in Marvel Puzzle Quest. Top 1 finisher.
Reward earned. That's an awfully unexciting way to present you with a reward.
A blue screen.
So, Matt, is that all the games you played this week?
Yeah, that's my life in a nutshell. Yep.
Okay, let's throw the ball to Eric.
I took advantage of my PlayStation Plus account this week and played myself a copy of Brothers: Tale of Two Sons.
What'd you think about that game? I played it. Has anybody else played it? Matt?
No, not yet.
Did you play it through to
it's-
completion?
It's on the list.
Yes, I did. All in
Okay.
one sitting, too.
So
I had it spoiled for me.
basically, this game, it's a really novel concept, but it's also really, really, really piss poor in execution because of the control scheme. Essentially, you are playing as 2 brothers who are on a quest or an adventure to save their father who is dying from some ailment. There's no dialogue. They speak a gibberish language. You don't understand anything. So it's interesting in that you kind of get to discern the emotions for yourself, but they do a really kind of heavy-handed job of making sure you understand that this is what this person's feeling at this moment. But the core mechanic of the game, although cool, is the most frustrating part. You control both brothers with the joysticks. One of them, the left joystick is the older brother, the right joystick is the younger brother, and then the R2 and L2 buttons are the action buttons. Those are the only things you use the entire game. And you interact with the environment using the L2 button for the big brother, R2 button for the little brother, and you got to help each other solve these puzzles, and you're just kind of moving through the world, experiencing the emotion and the art style on your quest to save your father. And it's neat because the art style is really cool. Probably one of the...
Is it?
I think it's neat.
Really? Is it cool? 'Cause
It seems
kind of
plain to
stupid.
me, and I know there was a lot of talk about like the art style during like the end of the year roundups or whatever.
You gotta sit on those benches.
What's this game called?
It's called
Brothers.
Two Brothers. Or Brothers.
Brothers: A Tale of Two.
I think it was neat that, like
the
Matt
new-
just said in a stupid comment.
It's the
I
new
liked-
Hulk Hogan wrestling game, brother.
I liked that concept of having the benches there because it took you away from the adventuring for a second to just like remind you as a gamer, stop and just enjoy the visuals of this game. Yeah, they may not have been the best, but I thought they were unique enough where they placed those benches. It kind of gave you a neat perspective on the world and kind of said, some of them set it up like, hey, this is where you were. You know, look at where you've progressed. And then another time you'd sit on a bench and you'd sit there and look out and be like, that's where you're going. And just kind of stop and pause and reflect and just enjoy the environment of the game. I think that was the neatest concept of it.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking at screenshots of this game. I'm on board. This art style looks fucking cool.
Yeah,
Really?
it's
Maybe I've forgotten.
the game is the game. If it takes you longer than 3 hours to play this game, you're doing it wrong. It's super short. You
Oh,
can-
I'm sorry. I like to take my time and enjoy games. I'm sorry that is wrong.
If it takes you 3 hours, you are dying at every single puzzle, and there's no puzzle that's harder than a first grader could solve. They're
Listen,
not
somebody
difficult.
put the time in, code in those death animations. I just want to see them. I just want to
It's
see them
really
all.
not even a death animation. The only places I ever died was when I missed a jump, and you have to hold R2 to hang on a ledge, and then you have to do like this rock climbing dino jump up, and you forget to hit R2 again, and you'll fall to your death. But you'll start exactly where you just left off. So it's not about the adventure. It's not about the combat and the dying. It's about the adventure and the experience. and the types of people that you meet along the way who, whenever you meet somebody new, you hold out this big scroll and point to it, and then they point in the direction that you have to go, and that's about it.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at pictures now too, and yeah, maybe it was a good-looking game.
It kind of had that original Fable 1 feel to it. Everything was kind of shiny and glowy and...
Oversaturated.
A little bit.
The word, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking at like some of the situations that I've totally forgotten about, and yeah, some of these situations were pretty cool.
It takes a while to get into. I guess is in terms of a 3-hour game, taking about an hour and a half to really get into the meat of the game is a long time. Towards the end, you start to get into these darker situations where you're going through this big valley where suddenly all of these giants are. I mean, these people, these dead soldiers are strewn across this valley, and you're pushing their arms out of their way. You're firing gigantic crossbolts at their head to knock their dead corpse out of the way, and it's neat how you interact with the environment.
One of the things I hated about this game,
PSN, right? PSN Plus.
Yes.
and you mentioned it already, was the control scheme.
Yeah.
But I found to mitigate that, I always just kept the big brother on the left and the younger brother on the right, and so I knew that was a little bit more intuitive for me. Because if you ever got them crossed, like that's when
you're done.
Yeah, that's when shit just got wrong.
Is there some stuff that like only the big brother can do, and some stuff that only the little brother? Okay.
So right away, some of them, the puzzles are all really easy. It's just you have to look at it and be like, okay, this is what this guy can do. So sometimes if there's a tall ledge, you hold R2 or L2, and the big brother will stand there with his hands out to throw the little brother up, and then the little brother goes and drops the ledge down, or drops the rope down for the big brother to climb up, and you move on. Some of the other ones, the big brother's obviously stronger, so if there's anything heavy you had to push, he had to be the one to do it. The big brother could swim, the little brother couldn't, so if you jumped into water, you had to get the little brother to the big brother to ride his back. And
put him on a raft, or a little pallet.
It's like
really
Ellie.
neat.
What is with these little kids and not being able to swim today?
I don't know.
These days.
There was a story
Take the
point
goddamn
behind
glasses off.
All right, I take the glasses off.
it. There's a story behind it, and the whole game is about driving emotion without actually saying anything, no dialogue. I mean, his mother was drowned in front of him on a boat, so that's why he had a fear of water.
I'm in Sin City.
Yeah, I'm looking at these pictures, and it is bringing memories back about this game. Which, when I played it, I didn't really appreciate it as much as I do now. But now I'm like, yeah, you know what? This game was really good.
Yeah,
and
Christy and I sat down and played it and really enjoyed it.
If it's free on the PSN, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, it reminded me of an old PS2 game called Adventure of Cookie and Cream, where it's a puzzle game where you're controlling two characters with each joystick, but in that game, the left character always stayed on the left side of the screen, and the right character always stayed on the right. And it was fun, but once they get crossed, like you said, your brain just goes, yeah, it doesn't work. And it eventually got to the point where I was just leapfrogging because I got so frustrated with it. It's like, all right, now I'm going to move this guy, and then I'll move this guy, and then I'll move that one. And
So I'm not really understanding how is one brother always on one stick and the other brother's always on the other stick?
yes.
Okay, so even if the brothers cross on the screen, they're still on their respective sticks.
Yes.
Okay.
Which
And-
is really confusing.
It doesn't sound complicated like as we're talking about it, but playing this game, it gets confusing and it's kind of frustrating and stupid.
The ending is exceptionally depressing. Like, Christy and I were playing it last night, and like, okay, this happened, but as per normal storytelling, we can probably predict this is going to happen. Nope. Most depressing ending I've played in a long time. Real sad.
I just want to point
Really?
out that
Think
this
so?
video effect is super cool. Look at
I
this.
feel like you're trying to
Look how
derail
cool
the
this is.
conversation because you're not involved in it.
No, I am. I'm involved. Depressing ending. Resume. Okay, continue then. Depressing ending. Where are you going from there? To me, that seemed like the end of the conversation, and because I know Oliver was going to let that fall flat, try to pick something up.
There was discussions. I don't know if you've whatever. There were discussions about the ending of Brothers, Eric.
Yes.
And should we talk about this or no, or take it to?
I don't think you guys. I as
Just
someone
talk
who
about it.
hasn't played the game yet, you guys should not. God damn it! How do I turn these off now? You guys should not. Don't ruin the end of that game. Don't ruin the end of that game.
As I was playing, because I was playing with a buddy, and we were only playing it because we heard a lot of good things about it, and so we're like, yeah, we should try this. And because he had an Xbox with it already purchased, I'm like, okay, well, I'm coming over and I'm gonna watch you play. But we ended up taking turns anyways. There's a point at the end after the thing happens where
Yep.
the little boy. There's this kind of profound moment where I
With
guess
the
the little boy sort of grows up.
It sounds like that is the like I'm pretty sure someone spoiled what the moment was. It sounds like that is the reason to play the game.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Doesn't
that
sound
part was kind of cool.
It was hard. Like, that was really heart-wrenching to do because they forced you to go through the motions of making him grow up. It wasn't a cutscene. Like, you were physically doing it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's for as frustrating as the controls are, to suffer through 3 hours of shitty controls to get to that moment of gaming. I think it was really neat. I think it was powerful, and that was the ultimate point of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like that is the only point of the game.
It is.
If,
Well,
if
I
the
don't know.
puzzles if the puzzles aren't great and the controls are really more of just a tolerance thing,
We touched
then
on the
it sounds
visuals.
like really.
It's a really cool looking game.
I think-
I mean, how far can you get on art style alone, though?
Look at Journey.
Ask Journey. Game of the year
Journey
for some
is a
people.
profound multiplayer experience.
Journey was a pile of shit.
Yeah, Journey was a pile of shit.
I think the other cool aspect of this game is just the sheer amount of different environments you're going to go through. I mean, you go through everything from coastal woodlands to forests to mountains to deep dark caves to snowy tundras, and you're canoeing through the ocean with orcas jumping up around you. It's really neat. There's
Yeah.
a lot of cool stuff in this game, and I'm remiss to say it's an experience because Journey said that, but it is. It's something to actually sit down and experience. There's no combat. Well, actually, I take that back. There is 2 situations where you're doing
Yeah.
combat.
There's like a boss battle. It's weird.
Yeah, the final boss battle, but even that's not hard. So.
No. Good game. Free.
Would
on
you
the PSN.
say that you can name 5 better games that came out in 2013?
Absolutely. But it's worth playing.
Okay.
It's
Just wanted to-
definitely worth
Yeah.
your
That was,
3
that, was
hours.
that was the litmus test. You just gotta know.
Yeah.
Not one of the top 5.
No, absolutely not. It's free, and as a free game, it deserves to be played. Like this one, play it through to completion.
It's free if you're a PSN Plus subscriber.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'd say pay the $15 for it. If you really want to experience something, pay the $15. It's good.
I wouldn't recommend it for $15.
I would.
I wouldn't.
I
It's
wouldn't
completely
recommend
passable.
Journey.
It's a good game to play, especially free, and if you have the opportunity to play it, sure. $15, save your $15. IMO. Eric, is there anything else you played this week?
So last week we discussed The Wolf Among Us.
Oh,
And
yeah, right.
I went out and bought it, and Christy and I have a new
What do you
obsession.
mean you went out and bought it? You sat down on your couch and you pressed buttons to buy it.
I went out of my office to my couch and bought it.
You could have just stayed on your computer and purchased it.
But we wanted to play it on PS3.
Well, you could use the PSN online browser and buy it. Doing things the hard way. Why do you have sunglasses on your head?
Because I was outside and I haven't taken them off.
Your sunglass tiara, they call that.
Yeah.
Tell me
Busy
about The
looking
Wolf
for
Among
your
Us.
bag.
Kevin, did you buy The Wolf Among Us?
I did.
Did you play it?
I did.
All right, let's talk about
Awesome, yeah, let's talk about it.
All right, go.
it. I was giving you an opportunity to jump in. You've been quiet.
Yeah, you haven't said anything, Kev.
I was busy mixing myself another drink. You guys did not notice me walk away for like 2 minutes?
You know what, on that note, talk about The Wolf Among Us.
No, we'll wait. Have Amber.
No, it's already mixed. It's in the fridge. I took a page out of the Kevin playbook. It's actually pretty awesome. I'll be right back.
Kevin, tell. Jesus.
Okay, so Wolf Among Us. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it at first,
Mm-hmm.
but as soon as you got to like the little prologue part, because that kind of got me on board too. Is just the way they set up like the first 20 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
How they had the tiny little bit of backstory, and then the credits, which kind of annoyed me. How I had to make you watch through the credits.
You know,
And
like
then
the late credit card, late title card.
No, it's like it reminds me of like a '90s sitcom or whatever. It's like you have your hook for 30 seconds, and then you have your credits. Then you can go right to commercial. Like that's what that little opening reminded me of. But the first little bit totally hooked me. I thought the story was cool. I thought the controls were cool when you were fighting Woody. And it totally felt like a fluid fight. It was like moving it around and then left trigger, right trigger, left trigger, right
Well, it's
trigger.
the exact same as Walking Dead Season 2, so...
Well, it's totally nothing like
No,
Walking Dead
it's
Season
not.
2, but...
Not at all the same, is it?
Yeah.
No,
You
it's
were-
nothing like Walking Dead Season 2.
Because
Yeah.
Wolf Among Us, you're trying to put the cursor in the circle and then pull the trigger.
Okay.
What do you do in The Walking Dead? I don't remember now.
Essentially, it's the same style of controls, where it's still QuickTime events.
Well,
Well, yeah, it's still quick time
welcome-
events, but the fact that the way they did it, how they did with the triggers, and it was a fist fight, it felt fluid and it felt like it was really
Oh,
well.
pro tip: you can hit any of the triggers, even though it says R2 or L2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that.
Doesn't
but it's-
matter because I fucked up a lot and it was
it
still just giving it
matters.
to me.
Because if you hit L2, then you use your left arm. If you hit
I
R2,
liked
you
how,
use your
though,
right arm.
if you didn't do exactly what it told you to, it didn't kill you, it just changed the outcome of that fight.
Yeah, it would sort of like, because Woody would get his shots in or whatever, and it would go to the next sort of action.
It's pretty hard to die in that game.
I don't think it is. I honestly don't think it's possible to die. In that game.
Yeah, I don't think I did, but I just thought I was good at gaming.
If you missed every single QuickTime event, I bet they give you some fail states. I
I don't know,
wanna
it
say-
doesn't
I
seem
wanna
like
say
the
that-
type
I wanna
of
say I
game
hit
that
a
has
fail
fail
state.
It's like if you lose the fight to Woody, maybe Woody just escapes faster because he's still going to get away, but he might get away faster.
Well, not in that first scene. That first scene ends with an axe in his head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I wonder what happens.
pull
I
out the
think
window faster.
Maybe.
I think I did hit a fail state at one point in Wolf Among Us, but I can't
didn't.
remember where. They're in The Walking Dead for sure.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to have them in The Wolf Among Us, and I'm
That's-
pretty
yeah,
sure I
that's-
did hit one at one point. I think I did actually fuck up enough that I died or something.
I don't know.
remember
This
now.
game seems to me like it's more about the story than Walking Dead is.
Oh,
like
yeah.
especially with season 2. Like season 2 so far just feels like going through the motions, but the story is fresh. It's unique. It's
Yeah,
well,
you're kind of you're very empowered compared to The Walking Dead. You are you are the terror in
Big
The
B
Wolf Among
has
Us.
a lot of power.
fuck my big bad wolf. He is all about justice
Yeah.
Nice.
and ripping motherfuckers' arms off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like I put an axe in a dude's head. I ripped a guy's arm off. Like I
So
was
you guys
just.
actually ripped his arm off?
Oh yeah.
See,
When
Oh,
I go
yeah.
I
into
did that,
wolf
yeah.
mode, I lose all control.
See, I
Right.
took
Yeah,
the
you're a
approach
wolf.
where everybody already hates Big B and he knows it, yet he's got that softer side to him. Like, if I want to rally these people around me, if I want to make sure that these people stay safe, I need them to view me as their protector. So I'm not going to go around killing everybody and ripping arms off. I want to show them that I do have a justice side to me.
Well, ripping an arm off isn't necessarily fatal in that world.
No, because
I mean,
taking an
that
axe to the head is
Yeah, I was
also
gonna
not
say
fatal.
that guy got a good fucking axe right in the back of his head and was totally fine.
I understand that, but ripping the arm off would have put him into that category of senseless violence.
I think you rip the arm off and then you get the option to hit him with it.
No, you don't. You don't
I
have
don't-
that option.
no.
But
Really?
no. It's just that guy had it coming. I was just there to talk to Woody. I was sitting down at the bar
Yeah,
having a
that
nice
guy.
conversation with Woody. I was gonna take him downtown. Everything was gonna go fine, and then this guy shows up, and he's
Yeah,
like,
that guy
"Yo,
had a chip
he
on
had
his
it coming." Yeah.
Yeah. He was talking
You-
shit and you were trying to mind your own business.
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to talk him down too. You're like, I don't want any trouble, man. I'm just here to talk to this guy. And then
Well,
he turned
I
into a
kinda
monster,
told
so
him
you're
that,
like,
you
all
know,
right, well,
Back the fuck up.
time for
The
me
big
to
bad
turn
wolf.
into a monster. And
I think what really drew me in the most is all the different fables that they pulled into it, just all the different fairy tales. And
That's interesting.
like when I saw Beauty, and I'm sitting here thinking, how the hell are they going to portray Beast? I think they did a really good job of conveying those non-human characters in human form as well. I mean, you can kind of tell that character looks like Beast, and I can see what he's going to look like Big B. You can tell that he's kind of got that wolf look to him.
Yeah, with his hair and sort of
Yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of
it's all
wild.
scruffy and
Yeah,
It's
And
neat.
his
It's a really
claws?
interesting world. Like, it's to the point where I want to go out and get all the
hairy
comics now
forearms
just to
too.
enjoy it.
I was actually watching a show on Netflix called Once Upon a Time,
Yeah.
which is basically the exact same storyline as this game is, like completely the exact same.
Yeah, Amber made that connection too.
So that's probably what drew me into it so well, is because that show is awesome, and if you like the game, you should probably watch the show. And it just drew me into the game because of exactly what Eric said, just all the fables and all the stories and how they tie them together.
It's a neat concept. There's some characters that I didn't really give a shit about, but when you get that phone call and you have to make the decision who to help first, I went and helped Toad first. Like, you know what? He was kind of a dick at the beginning, and then I get over there like, this guy's a super dick. I kind of wish I wouldn't have helped him first. And
I like Toad.
That
Toad
was
was
right.
understood.
That was a kind of cool sequence, where you looked around his apartment and found clues or whatever, and then you kind of shook him down.
Yeah, like the entire way that they portray you being like the law and the sheriff and everything, and how they build that into the game and like investigating these things. I think that's part of what makes it so interesting too.
Yeah, that was a really cool part.
It's like L.A. Noir, except not shitty.
What did you just say? It's like what?
Like L.A. Noir, but not shitty.
There you go.
La Noir?
La Noir.
Lenore.
It's like L.A. Noir.
But I was curious about that. If you go into Toad and you can clearly not investigate everything, can you just leave without solving that?
No, because if you go to the door, there's actually a clue on the door,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what prevents you from leaving, is because you click on it and it's actually a clue, it's not leaving.
So you can't just go through this game being a bumbling moron detective who misses obvious clues?
I'm pretty sure you can miss obvious clues. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to get every single...
Yeah.
You don't have to catch him in every lie when you're interrogating him.
Yeah.
But you probably are going to end up catching him in the end.
With my other question with that, who you get to help out between Prince Lawrence and Toad, does it make a difference if you go to Prince Lawrence first?
One of the things they said in the synopsis at the end,
Mhm.
like you and X% of players did this. One of them was save Prince Lawrence.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So it wasn't the same one as go to Toad first or go to Lawrence first. So I think it was possible to save both of them.
I don't think you can actually save Prince Lawrence because that would drastically alter the game.
How do you know?
In what
Because-
sense? Like, how would it...
Because the whole premise of you going to the bar afterwards is well, actually no, not the whole premise, but when you're in there, the whole story arc with Tweedledee and Tweedledum is revolving around the fact that he's dead.
That who's
Yeah, but
dead?
you're still gonna find Tweedledee in the closet, even
if
if
you-
you save Prince Lawrence.
I guess what I'm thinking is if you go to save Prince Lawrence, Tweedledee will be there trying to kill Prince Lawrence.
Maybe.
Or you interfere because when you get there, he's in the closet covered in blood. So you assume he's the one who killed him.
Well, no, but the mirror, because remember the mirror is what showed you the dagger.
Mhm.
It doesn't show you the future; it shows you the present.
So clearly
So
he's
as
already
soon
dead.
as
So you
looked in
can't
the mirror,
save him.
he was already fucked.
So that's
Are you
what's
saying
confusing.
that by looking in the mirror, we conscripted him to his fate? Are you saying everything is in flux until the mirror decides it?
No, I am saying we only knew about it because the mirror showed us.
It's like kind of getting back to what Eric was saying, how it would drastically change based on one decision or another. They're pretty good about putting in a hook that if you don't have the motivation for your character that needs to get to this next scene, he'll go, well, I should go check out the bar or something, and like that's that, and then he'll go to the bar. Like
But I
they're
feel like a lot of the story is going to revolve around the fact that you were not able to save Prince Lawrence.
maybe, but who is the
Maybe
other
he's
choice?
Not even important.
Yeah.
He's probably just going to be a throwaway character who, if you would have managed to save him, would have been like, my wife is dead? Oh, now I'm depressed.
He's just another body, man. Just another body.
That's
just
true.
Another statistic.
And maybe even Tweedledee wouldn't have been there if you got there to save him.
I don't know.
That's not the first time you meet the Tweedles, though, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's the first time.
Oh, okay. It's been a long time. It's like I played this the day it came out, and not
somebody
since
in the
then.
chat is saying that Tweedledee is not there if you go to save him.
Oh, really?
Really?
So then how does that work at the end where you're...
So, sorry, did all 4 of us go save Toad first?
Yeah,
I saved Toad,
I went to Toad first, yeah.
Holy shit.
And I did because of the concept, like you said, I saw in the mirror, Prince Lawrence was fucked. It's like, okay, there's no rush to go give this guy a note that his wife died. Toad sounds like he needs my help now.
Exactly, and that was my theory too, because my Big Bad Wolf is all about justice. So he made the decision that Toad needs help now. This other guy who's lying in a pool of blood, he's probably fucked already.
Yeah.
I just like Toad as a character. I like the actor that plays Toad, and I think Toad is super funny. So I'm like,
fuck, you know what?
I want Toad to stick around in my story.
He had better get his fucking glamour on soon, because if he doesn't get that on, I'm gonna have to bust his ass.
I told him twice. I told him 2 separate times to get his glamour on. So next time I see him, like, I'm sorry, Toad. We're friends, but.
So when he phoned you, did you say, "What's wrong," or did you say, "You got your glamour yet?"
I was totally
about the glamour.
Like, you better be speaking to me from behind the glamour, or I'm gonna come rip your arms off.
Christy was convinced that Toad's son, or kid, boy, baby frog.
Yeah, the boy
is the voice of Clementine.
Is that right?
I have no idea.
Maybe. I don't know. That Toad doesn't look too fat.
I get it. I get it. Maybe it's possible.
I'm gonna look right now.
Yeah, who knows?
It is. Holy shit, Christy was right.
Is that right?
Hey, wife, you were right.
Okay, what did you guys think about the way that they, like, kind of alluded to who the killer was? Because there was a couple different people you could accuse of being the killer. There was Woody, the pimp, or random file from your dresser that you can inspect, but you can't actually read.
You could assume it was Tweedle.
Right? Bluebeard was the random file?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, because they mentioned nothing in the game, but he's actually a major player in the comic books.
And I think that's stupid, because if they show you the file at the very beginning of the game, but there's no option to read it. Like, you look at it and be like, Bluebeard, that guy!
Yeah, that's what I thought too, because this happened before, or I played it before I read the comic books. And yeah, when they mentioned, like, Bluebeard, like, who's Bluebeard? Like,
the person
that guy?
The person I thought it was turned up with no head, so I guess it wasn't that person.
You thought it was Snow?
Whoa! Huh. Why are we gonna drop spoilers like this? This is
Hey,
live.
No,
we haven't spoiled anything, and now you hold on. Spoiled that huge part of the game.
I would like to case in point right here. You actually spoiled the death of Snow White in the very first time we talked about this game.
Yeah.
Me?
All right.
Yeah.
Who? Me?
You personally, you.
I don't remember that. When?
We talked about it, and
during Game of the Year. During Game of the Year, we talked about it.
Yeah, and you spoiled.
And that was when
Snow
fucking
White died.
spoilers were on, man.
So
Yeah.
now, because everybody
now
who's
spoilers are
they
not
have
on.
fucking listened to the goddamn New Year's show.
Now
And if
spoilers
they
are
haven't-
not. There wasn't even a spoiler warning. It was just like, hey, man, this totally shit moment just happens.
We already spoiled the whole Prince Lawrence thing. The Toads.
Yeah, you guys are dicks. You guys are fucking dicks. That's all I'm hearing. I go to the bathroom, and you guys just start spoiling stuff.
And no, the good part about the way that I played this is watching that Once Upon a Time show and playing this game is I totally thought in my head that it was the Snow White in the TV show that got killed.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't expecting it in the game at all. And then when it happened, I'm like, oh, I'm retarded.
Well, since it's out of the bag, to be fair, I don't think getting your head cut off is grounds for a character being dead in this universe.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is too.
I don't know.
It's like Highlander.
I bet you got to cut the head off and then like destroy the head somehow.
Like frappe the brain.
Yeah, like throw it into a fire or something.
Different parts of the country.
Yeah.
It might be. I don't know.
Like that axe looked pretty fucking definitive, And
Right,
I mean,
Woody's head there.
right in the brain. I mean, what's the neck? The neck is nothing. You just stick that thing back on the body, a couple of stitches, good to go. I bet she comes back and she has stitches all the way around here. Just like
the
Trevor.
dialogue in that game, like the writing, is just top notch too. Because when you're interrogating Woody in the bar and he's like going through his little breakdown, and he's like, "I was there to rob her," you know. You're like, "Wait, what the fuck are you talking about?"
Oh yeah. That
And
was
he
a good
goes
one.
into the backstory about how when he saved Red Riding Hood from the Big Bad Wolf, he was actually at her house to rob her.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
that's
yeah,
cool
yeah.
how they like expand on the existing stories that everyone knows, and like
They humanize them.
Woody. That
They,
Woody's
like-
a fucking dick.
They take like, oh, how would this be in the real world? Like, in today's world, there aren't really those gallivanting heroes. Like, what if he showed up to like rob her? Yeah, it's gritty. It's dark.
Mhm.
I like that Beauty is cheating on Beast.
That's
That's
not
not-
necessarily true.
Maybe,
You're jumping to
not a
conclusions.
fact.
maybe.
Why are you
maybe.
jumping to conclusions? They have
Well-
true love.
Well, do they? Do they?
Sneaking around in the bushes. Beast
If you
is
know,
all like,
if you know what I mean.
"Hey, do you know what my wife's been up to?" And Bigby's like, "Listen, I want to stay out of this."
Yeah, that's what I said too. I'm like, this is none of my business.
I hope they don't do a thing where they withhold information from you that Bigby knows. Like, I hope season 2 or episode 2 we don't find out that like Bigby and Beauty totally had this fling, and they just didn't show you that at the time because of
That I don't think
reasons.
that's gonna happen. I don't
No.
think that's gonna happen.
No.
It's gonna be something like Beauty is, I don't know, like she knows who's doing the killings, but there's like a reason for it. I don't know. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Maybe somebody's trying to cull like people like Toad, people who are a danger to the other fables for the greater good, man.
But I feel like it's gonna be this Bluebeard guy, and the entire reason is because he hates the Big Bad Wolf.
Why does
Because-
It's
Bluebeard
not
hate
even
the
a
Big
real
Bad Wolf?
fable, is it?
Who
Yeah,
knows?
he probably is.
Probably. It's probably connected somewhere, but
I feel like they're gonna do that where they just they generate a fable to be the bad guy because they don't want to single out any one favorite
They don't do.
fable.
They don't. There's no
I
way
think-
they would do that. Every
think
single
stick to-
character so
yeah.
far has been. You can link it back to a real fable, a real story, or a character from like Sleepy Hollow isn't necessarily a fable, but
even that prostitute and that gets
She-
that,
Yeah, you know what? You got a point there. That the
yeah, but I don't know.
Skinhead?
Maybe it's entirely possible that Prince Lawrence and somebody is a story somewhere, right?
I
wasn't
don't think it
she?
is.
Well, didn't they explain her fable? Wasn't that the one with like the goat?
I've
Something?
never heard that one before.
Yeah, I think that one was fabricated for this because she wears
I
that,
bet not.
that skin bag.
I bet you just because we don't know it doesn't mean it's not. Like
Real.
it's the thing is it's not all fairy tales. Like some of them are just characters from old stories, like Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow isn't a fairy tale, but they still have Ichabod Crane as the mayor's
Yeah, but the Headless
dude or
Horseman is
whatever.
a story from forever.
Sure, okay, but I mean, I bet that every single fable in there is in some way is tied back to either some mythology or some story or
Yeah,
something.
I believe that that's how it is too. Like
Maybe not
why-
from our
if
culture,
If you're
but-
already casting the Big Bad Wolf as the hero, why wouldn't you cast Woody as the villain? You know what I mean?
That's true. So
Interesting take on it.
As soon as I got to the end, I instantly regretted who I chose to chase after because I looked
So
at
did
I looked at the statistics and I only sided with 13% of people.
Who did you chase?
I went after Woodsman.
I
Really?
Did too.
Yeah, and
Wasn't there some way to take Woody? Like there was some way you knew it wasn't Woody, wasn't there? There was some way to cross him off the suspect list at that point.
No, you could cross him off the list based on the conversations you had with Snow, but you couldn't be definitive. Like there wasn't a 100% he didn't do it. It was just like, yeah, you know, I'm going with my gut instinct as Sheriff Big Bad Wolf. I'm going after Tweedledee.
It's not going to be any of them. That's sort of what I hate is
But
that
I would rather know what he was doing in that closet than know what Woody was doing
Yeah.
in between the time I fucking
Tweedledee is a
crushed
lot
him
more
with an axe.
suspect than Woody
Yeah.
right now.
As soon as I chose to go after Woodsman, I instantly thought of that. Like, you know what? I made the wrong fucking choice.
I didn't even have to make a choice. I'm just like, I can go after Tweedledee. I'm chasing him.
Yeah.
Maybe you
no
catch up
choice to make.
with them, and then you and Woody like team up. They're like, oh yeah, you know what? We fought for long enough. Let's get to the bottom of this. Because didn't Woody didn't he like Snow as well or something? It's been so long since I played this.
He had nothing to do with Snow White. No.
No, I thought he was. Okay, well, whatever. I like the Woodsman. I hope that he sticks around. He is one of the best characters, along with Toad. Forget Bigby. I just want Toad and the Woodsman, like buddy cop style, solving crimes.
What about Colin the pig?
Yeah, that's cool too, though.
Yeah, that guy.
Real little
Like
pig.
that was
I like
real
that
cool.
one.
How you got home and it's like, yeah, you know, you fucked me over pretty hard.
He laid it on pretty thick. I was getting annoyed of him by the end.
I was this close to not giving him a sip of my whiskey.
I let him have some.
I let him
a
have some
glass.
at the
I
very
wish you had
last
the
moment.
option to set the glass in front of him and then tip it over so he had to lick it off the dirty floor.
Smash his face into it.
The first time he asked for the whiskey, I was going to give it to him, but the options were like ambiguous because I was intoxicated at the time. And I took a drink and I thought I was going to give him a drink, and he's like, "You fucking asshole." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, man. It's an honest mistake. I would have given you a drink had I been able to read."
So Wolf Among Us, anything else?
I'm looking forward to episode 2 of this more than I am for episode 2 of Walking Dead.
I am too.
Yeah, so am I. But that being said, I think episode 2 of Walking Dead will have some shocking shit and knock it out of the park.
It'll probably blow us away when it comes, but
Yeah, they just didn't leave any like real strong hooks, whereas this totally did.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a season 2 of Wolf Among Us, if they'll be able to maintain, because it's already started out so good.
That's
Yeah.
how season 1 of Walking Dead started out, and they maintained throughout.
See, I don't know. Walking Dead season 1 did not start off as powerful as this did, though. Because
but I think
you ended at the farmhouse, and you at least had some inkling that you might be okay for a little while. At the end of this, it's just like, shit hits the fan, you're left with your mouth fucking dropped wide open in a fucking...
But I think
They
this is
just
a
did that
different-
moment, and you're like, holy shit.
This is different in that Walking Dead was about, oh fuck, how am I going to survive? And then this game is just about, okay, how am I going to figure this out? There's no real inherent danger, so I think it's drawing on different emotions, which is why I think I'm equally excited for both.
I think this one is already a little bit more important to me because of the fact, like, the subject matter that they're using, like all these old stories.
Yeah.
It's like I'm more interested to know their take on what happens with all these old fables than I am about what Clementine does with her stitched up fucking arm.
But I'm so invested in the Walking Dead character, specifically her, and just that universe and what's going on, that I want to see it through. So
But yeah,
I mean,
like I'll see it through, but if they both come out on the same day, I'm playing Wolf Among Us first.
yeah,
Eric.
that's it for me. Other than more Luiginoids,
Legionoids and the Luiginarium.
I can get a leaning tower of Luigi now.
What does that do?
That's just what I call it. Basically, you stack up all your Luigis and jump on people. It's like 200-300 Luigis, and the game's cool, man.
This game does not sound like it appeals to me at all.
It's fucking awesome. It's cool.
I don't know about Mario nowadays.
It's tied me over till Bravely Default, which apparently Matt thinks is a child porn game.
I judge only on the fact that I saw a naked child on the front of that box art.
Did you see the link I sent you about? They're actually toning it down for the Western release. In
Yeah, I
Japan,
did.
it's like super nude.
Oh,
I
that's
checked
what-
that out,
is the
and none of
card
those pictures are super nude. Like, nothing is that big
No,
of a deal.
it's not. It isn't really.
Is that the card game with like the nude? All the characters are female or whatever,
No,
and you can collect.
it's an RPG for 3DS.
But I want to hear more about what Oliver's talking about.
Got $150 to buy new cards.
Cars and naked ladies, and they're all different. Sign
I thought
me
I
up.
heard about this, but I guess not. Maybe not. Anyways, whatever. Who are we on to? I don't even know. Kevin. Anything
I
else?
played Wolf Among Us.
Tell me about it.
Tell me about Wolf Among Us.
Spoiler free, please.
Yeah, try to keep spoilers to a minimum.
No, the only thing I really want to talk about is March 4th.
Is that the day Titanfall comes out? I don't.
No, that's the official release date of South Park. The game.
Oh, did you see that dev that I sent you?
I
That
did.
dev
I
guide?
watched it, and that game looks so good.
Oh, absolutely. Week from Tuesday.
South Park, really?
Well, a month and a week from Tuesday.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just I saw 4th. Yeah, a month and a week from Tuesday ish.
I might be really like out of the loop here, but I don't think South Park. Like, I know South Park is funny. It's just the delivery of the show and like just the way it is doesn't appeal to me at all.
Watch
me ask
the
you a
developer
question.
diary.
It's not. No, I'm not going to watch a developer diary of a thing that I'm not interested in.
Let me ask you a question. Do you like Family Guy?
Not really. Like, yes,
well,
but not really.
My entire argument just flew out the window.
Are you going to say that South Park is way better than Family Guy?
No, I'm going to say they're polar opposites on the
Oh.
comedic scale. Like, you actually have to be
I think-
intelligent
I like
to enjoy South Park.
It's not true at all.
I like Family Guy more than I like South Park.
See, and I'm the opposite because
gonna
I
keep
think
you
South
going.
Park comments on a lot of social stuff going on, and they do it in an intelligent manner where it's satire on the real world.
Yeah, that's
How is
exactly
it an
how it
intelligent
is.
manner though? It's literally swear jokes. Like, look how funny it is because these kids are saying "fuck" on television,
And
and
if
it's
that's all
poop
you
jokes.
see, if
and
that's all
it's-
you get
and
from the
it's-
show,
No, I get the satirical. They do cover a lot of hot topic issues in very satirical ways, but it's not. They're not covering them in super intelligent ways. It's look, we took this issue, and then what if instead of talking about this issue, this character shits himself?
that's
There's an
funny.
episode of South Park.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's how I see it too. Like,
That's not an
all
entire
all that
episode.
surface
That's
shit.
14 seconds of an episode, and they put it together with a lot more effort than that.
All that surface shit of South Park does not appeal to me. Like the hanky, is that guy still even a character?
No.
The fucking poo
Who
guy.
knows? But no,
What's
it's
great
like
about that game is that
Swearing
there's,
kids and
there's absolutely nothing that is off limits. I mean, Matt and Trey have gotten to the point where anything goes. They're going to make fun of anybody and everybody equally. And I
hey,
think
when
that's
you
what,
go to the Academy Awards on acid, there's really no other way you can go but up.
just dressed as women with cocaine under your nose.
is that what they did?
Yeah,
Yes,
and then
it is.
when anybody would ask them, why are you guys dressed up as women or anything like that, they say, beautiful, magical night. It's a magical evening.
It's a magical evening.
See, that doesn't.
And then they were saying about halfway through the Academy Awards, they were coming down off their acid, and they said the only thing worse than going to the Academy Awards in a dress is coming down off acid and realizing you're at the Academy Awards in a dress and can't get out of it.
That's kind of funny, actually. Tell me more about South Park. I don't even know why I'm still hosting this show. Like, hasn't this joke gone far enough? I don't want to host this show.
What's the joke? I'm not going to be here next Sunday, so you have to carry. The show must go on.
I'm not going to be here this Sunday either. I got so
Oh,
Super Bowl.
well, you better start
Whoa.
training. You better start training your replacement in an awful hurry then.
Kevin, tell me more about South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Honestly, I don't really know a lot about it, other than the fact that Matt and Trey have said that it's going to play like a South Park episode. Like, the art style is the exact same as the show, so their whole shtick of why they wanted to do the game was because they want somebody to walk in on you playing the game and being like, oh, you're watching South Park. And be like, no, actually, I'm playing South Park.
They wanted to achieve that specific level of shittiness in the graphics that make you think it's a cartoon.
And seeing the demo that they did at E3, it's like, they totally nailed it.
Oh, absolutely. That game is going to sell itself.
That
Not to me.
early contender game of the year 2014.
I think what's most enticing about it is that it's actually going to be hopefully a well thought out RPG.
I want it to come out and just bomb.
I sort of do too.
See, I think
all these
the
years in
hater in me-
development, pushed back so much, everybody losing their fucking minds about this game. I would
Yeah.
love for it to just be just a hot pile of like, not that it's broken, like it works fine. It's just a bad game.
Yeah,
Not funny.
to me, like
I don't
the
think it's-
hater in me says, I want this to fail so that those guys stop drawing attention to this game.
Yeah, stop
Because
telling me
anytime
about
this game
South
is
Park. It
mentioned-
already failed.
Yeah, this anytime this game is mentioned, I'm like, fuck, I don't care about this game at all. But that again, that's the hater in me. So
I don't think it's possible for it to fail, though. Like, sure, it could be... Like, the critics could say it sucks. Like, GameSpot could give it a 4 in the Metascore bullshit. But you're still going to sell 10 million copies. People are still going to buy the game.
I'd love for it to be bad enough that they just nope. They'll never make another South Park game again. That's the best case scenario out of this for me.
Honestly, I think that even if the game does well, they won't make another one. Because Matt and Trey have been so hands-on with this game, and they said the only way that they'll make a game again after the shitty N64 South Park snowball fighting game. Like, come on. Like, every South Park game that has come out so far has been a pile of trash.
Yeah, let's keep it going, man.
They said the only way that they would do a game again is if they were hands-on from start to finish with the entire development of the game. And they were.
That's the
And
case
that's
for this
why
one,
it's
right?
taken so long for it to come out. Because they're hands-on with the game and they're hands-on with the show. That's why I don't think it's going to be bad, is because they've been so hands-on with it. The show is amazing because they write every episode.
But just because it might be a fine episode of South Park, that doesn't mean it's going to be a good game. Just because they can make a funny TV show doesn't mean they know the first thing about making a good RPG.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, we've talked on and on and on about story is the most important part of a game. We just finished talking about Wolf Among Us, where it's a quick time game with a good story, right? Like, if the
I don't
story
think
of
an
the South
episode
Park
of South
game
Park is a good story.
But if you enjoy South Park,
I do enjoy South Park.
so you couldn't get behind playing a 15-hour long episode of South Park.
Maybe it like I like South Park, but I find it very on the nose, almost too much sometimes.
See, I don't even know if you're the type of guy who can even play real RPGs.
I don't even know what that means. I've played
Like
plenty
that-
of RPGs.
Skyrim
Look at this wall.
is not a real
Look at this
RPG.
wall. Look at this wall.
Have you tried Nino
All these
Kuni?
RPGs. Let me tell you about Dragon Age. What is that?
That is not a real
No,
RPG.
that is
Let me tell
not.
you about...
We're talking about menu-based RPGs.
Oh, you mean archaic fucking games that they don't make anymore for a reason? There's a reason that those aren't still the most popular type of games? Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to play one of those for 15 hours. You're right. You
I
got
Oh man, I can't
Over
believe you
both
just said
unpolished.
Dragon Age is better than every Final Fantasy game ever released.
Yes, all Final Fantasy games are super fucking boring.
No
It could
way.
be text. It could literally just be text and be as interesting.
Are you guys losing Matt?
Let me interest you
Little bit.
in the Ultima series, where the original
Yeah.
game was just ones and zeros. Like, everything was a 0
Well,
to 9,
Any game is,
and you had to know what
ones
the
and
zeros was. Yeah, respect.
I sort of get where both of you are coming, and this conversation is pretty funny.
Are you taking a picture? Are you taking a selfie right now?
No, no.
I see what you guys are saying, and I'm just gonna take a selfie. Just
This is me agreeing with you guys. I'm gonna post this on.
I'm just gonna mark the
Twitter
occasion here.
and all-
Let me
on
just-
OJ underscore
No,
A underscore.
he's gonna put it on Whisper. He's just secretly agrees.
I'm whispering this shit.
Yeah, that's his confession.
I guess-
One time
Secretly
I
really
agreed
want the
with
South Park
Kevin.
game to come out.
I agree with both these guys. No other games, Kev?
No,
No other
I
games
played
you
one
care to
game
talk
this
about?
week and I'm super proud of myself. So go fuck yourself.
I'm proud of you too.
Thanks.
Proud of you.
Ah.
I guess that leaves me then, doesn't it? Is this how this works? I
Yeah.
get to talk now.
Yeah, you do yourself
Sure.
last.
Played Don't Starve.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, I played a lot of Don't Starve. That game is fun.
Have you
And-
starved?
No, I've died of like darkness for most of the thing because
How do you die from darkness?
once if you ever get caught in the dark, spiders or something will come get you.
You
Okay,
can
so you
sleep
die
through
from
it.
spiders, not darkness.
Well, when you look at your obituaries page, it says you die of darkness.
Yeah, as you're in the dark, your sanity slowly decreases, and you can die from losing all your sanity. It's
Oh,
like
really?
it's just another meter. Yeah.
I've pretty much instantly died because of whatever monsters lurk in the dark.
Do you know if you build a straw mat, you can sleep through the night without a light source?
Oh, really?
And it also recovers sanity, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gotten really too deep into it. My longest run has been probably like 6 days. But,
Really? Like, I'm on my first run still, and I'm at, like, 16 or 17 days.
well, I didn't really understand how this game goes. But then, like, once I unlocked the new character, I played as much as I could with regular character, and then I switched over to the new character. And I really like the new character. It's the girl with the lighter. And
Yeah.
you have the pyromaniac, and she's always talking about how shit is either flammable or not flammable, and how disappointed she is when shit isn't flammable.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I like that character. I like the art style in that game, like the for the most part.
Yeah, the 2D kind of hand-drawn.
Yeah, super cool. The crafting I'm not too wild about. Like, I don't really like Minecraft or anything, and we talked about Rust, about all the crafting mechanics. But this one is kind of easy.
Yeah,
Because things are in abundance, right?
But that being said, there are, like, a fucking ton of unique resources, and even from that, those get manufactured into these, like, derivatives, and, like, that's sort of what I hate, is that there's fucking hundreds of components to make these things.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit. Like, it goes deep, because then you can craft, like, this physics machine to get more like, recipes or whatever. And then even further, you get this alchemist machine to get more recipes. And yeah, it goes pretty deep.
Yeah, it's a quirky little thing.
You mentioned last week that you didn't like the fact that once you died, that wipes everything. You just start again.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, sort of sucks. But I mean, the experience that you gain, because that's the only time you gain experience, right? Is when you die.
Like, you're not gaining, like, you the player are learning about the game. You're not, there's no experience meter that is, like, increasing in game.
But there's a meter at the end where you can keep unlocking, like, different characters, I think. Is that the only reason for this meter?
You unlock the character. There's, like, 5 or 6 different characters you can get.
And that sort of interests me, because if it was just the one character, it would kind of get dumb, but since unlocking this character, and she has that lighter she carries with her, she's impervious to fire damage or whatever, and that's interesting. So I'm curious to unlock different other characters and see where their special abilities lead them.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, walking around that world is interesting enough, but having these kind of powers kind of boost that. And, like, even walking around, you see weird things that you're kind of curious about. Like, there's that town of pigs that often pops up, and I've seen big herds of buffalo.
Beefalo.
I'm assuming that once you can start attacking those are a good source of food, but I'm sure, like, that's not going to be fun to do.
No, it's actually the beefalo. This guy figured out how to kill beefalo with no equipment and take no damage.
How do you do that?
There's the way they attack every certain amount of steps, and it's a big lunge. So if you keep running, they'll do their lunge and not hit you, and then you can turn around and you hit them, and you know that you usually have time. Like, you can time it. You'll go hit, and then they'll come to attack. So you run back. And then you know that you have time to go hit, and then they'll attack, so you have to run back, and then hit, and then you kill them, and then meat flies out of them.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of them, so
you gotta get one. You gotta get one at a time. Yeah. If you get more than one, just keep running until one of them drops, and you only have one on you.
It's good to know. It's good tips.
I think that game's kind of boring. Like that first part.
I don't know if there's an overarching story. I know there's kind of a thin story. And I know that I always complain about liking my games about story, but this one is totally just kind of got me really interested.
Apparently there is a story. You start finding... you'll sort of find them around the world. I don't know if you found any. You'll find these unique items that they don't really tell you what they're for. Like, I found a ring or something where it's like, this would be a great piece to an interdimensional transportation device. You're like, oh, what does that mean? Apparently, once you get all those, you start jumping world to world, and then I guess the story unveils something about a demon has trapped you in this hell or something. I don't really know.
That's something. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep playing that. That game's fun. That game's real fun.
That's free on PSN Plus right now, right?
Yep.
For PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Yep. Eric, sorry, you don't have a PlayStation 4.
Not yet. I did put one on the baby registry, though.
Oh, did you?
Hell
Do you
yeah.
really think that somebody's going to buy you that?
It's necessary. You need it to raise your kid.
I need something to do when the kid refuses to sleep at night.
Yeah, you feed it rum until it sleeps.
Yeah,
I
a
posted
little
that-
cough syrup, little rum, you know?
I posted that on Facebook, and somebody gave me some really snarky response about how about you actually be a parent and rock your baby. I'm like, and you missed the joke.
Who was it?
One of my aunts.
Uncle Tom.
Ooh.
Oh, Aunt Tom.
Uncle Tom.
No, it's funny. Registering for baby stuff is a pain in the butt.
The thing that you really only need is diapers. So if every single person who comes to your baby shower brings you diapers, you will be more happy than the start.
We're not doing the whole disposable diaper stuff.
Oh,
so.
Seriously, trust me, my brother said the same thing. You will make it 2 months, maybe, before you decide that the extra $2,000 is worth it.
So, like, do you put these non-disposable diapers in the laundry machine?
One of my friends does this. She's done it with all her kids. She swears by it. So we're gonna give it a shot. And
is it a service?
No, it's
No,
everybody
you
thinks
clean the shit yourself.
Listen,
Literally.
Everybody thinks that they're the old-fashioned cloth diapers with the pins, and they're just like napkins that you fold over their butt, and then they crap into that, and then you got to spray it out in the toilet, and that's not it at all.
That's basically exactly what it is.
No, it's not.
What is it then?
They're called, look them up. They're called Thirsties, and they're like these fashion diapers, whatever. They've got different designs on them. They've got an insert that goes into it, and basically you designate one load of laundry for doing diapers, and you just throw the diaper and everything in there. You just unbutton it so the part that absorbs all the piss and everything kind of tunnels itself out, and you just throw everything in the wash, and it takes care of it. I mean, if there's a huge turd, obviously you spray that out, but
That sounds...
You're going to
isn't
spend
like baby
a lot
poop?
more time spraying turds than you think.
There's no consistency to baby poop. It's really, right? It's just like...
Random.
It's like, well, it looks like baby food, basically. It's like...
when they're breastfeeding, the poop is really mushy, and it's like you just throw it in the wash and it goes away.
You sir, are going to have a ruined washing machine.
Yeah, you know how, like, if you don't put those little tablets in every now and again, the washing machine kind of gets that little funk just from, because it has water in it, and that kind of gets a little stinky? Imagine that, but imagine that you're throwing literal shit human shit into your laundry machine, not just every now and again, every single day.
Maybe I should prep my washing machine by just...
For the next 2 years, at least.
Nah.
I'm trying to be environmentally conscious.
Yeah, just use all that water. It's like, probably,
Except a disposable diaper sits in a landfill for like 15 years.
Who cares?
Yeah, it's natural,
Really,
man.
honestly, who
Decomposes. What's it made of? Paper?
If you think about it, as long as it decomposes by the time your life is over, there's no carbon footprint because it's already gone.
That's not what carbon footprint means.
That's exactly what it means. It means you have a net zero.
Well, it would mean that
if I throw something away right now that takes 20 years to decompose and I live 20 more years, my net is still zero.
Only if that thing had a net zero carbon footprint of being made. If someone went into the forest and pulled a diaper off the diaper tree, then yes, net carbon footprint zero.
And did you know that some of those, the very first plastic water bottles that were ever made are just finally now starting to decompose?
Good thing
Well,
I
that's pretty
never
good.
used the first ones.
That was like only 100 years ago, right? I got a water bottle with a filter in it. I just reuse mine. What's up? I leave my
footprint now, bitch.
I leave my
I've
computer
heard-
and my PS3 on all day, though, so, I give a little, take a little.
I've heard of the cloth diaper service, where you just do your thing, and they'll pick up as often as you need. Like they'll
Sounds
pick
like
up,
that would
wash,
be more
and clean.
expensive than using disposable diapers.
Yeah.
But it's the whole like environmental.
Do you want to know what sold me on it? We were out looking at diapers, and a pack of like 140 of them is like $65, and a newborn, will shit through about 12 diapers a day.
12 diapers a
not
day?
true at
I
all.
think you just made that. Yeah,
No,
I'm gonna
that
say you
is
just
so
made that
not
number
true.
up. I'm gonna say you
That
just made
is
that up.
so many. I don't think that's true.
All right,
Newborn-
I know I said this would ruin the podcast, but we need to go to the ref on this one.
No, the way it works is if you use disposable diapers, you're spending about $2,000 a year on diapers for a baby. If you're using cloth diapers, you're spending about $500 a year.
This checks out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I googled
So
how
that's
many
about 8
diapers does a
diapers
newborn
between-
go through in a day. Someone says
That's
10 to
about-
12.
Yeah. See? I have done my research. I'm not incompetent.
I'm not sure if the internet is something I would believe on this.
I was
I don't know,
talking
there's
to
a
my
lot of
friend
people
who's had
here.
a bunch of kids, and she says they will shit through 10 to 12 diapers a day while they are breastfeeding. It's
Yeah.
just milk. Imagine going on a milk diet.
You know, it costs you money to wash those diapers, though, right? The laundry machine's not free.
Yeah, but
No,
the
it's
cost
a lot
of water,
cheaper, though. It's a lot cheaper.
it's a lot cheaper than purchasing disposable diapers.
But the convenience factor of the disposable
Yeah,
diapers is totally worth it in this situation.
There's a
Not for me.
convenience factor. Very
Coming from
much so.
people who literally throw money away on video games, to have something that you can actually visibly see is making your life better, just go disposable. Fuck
I
the
were to buy
environment.
disposables, then I would
Fuck
have
your
no-
child's generation, and just go disposable.
How about I just go the other way, like some parents, and just not put diapers on their kids and let them
Yeah.
just shit everywhere?
Now we're talking.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
No, that's not a
Gross.
thing.
Yeah, free range
Gross.
babies, man. You
Yeah.
just let them go in that, you know, you cry, let them go in
Ones
the
you
field.
don't keep in a
Okay,
cage.
if you're on a
Little bit of
farm
water out
and
there.
you can let your baby roam around in the field by itself from 0
Well,
to 6
not-
months.
Not by its. You put like a big German Shepherd or something out there to keep the wolves away. Like, come on, don't be ridiculous. Like you need a herd dog, of course.
Just make sure
but-
that the baby doesn't step on the electrical floor plates.
Yeah,
Well, obviously,
Otherwise, it'll
because
be
you're
in
going to
trouble.
run
Yeah.
the maze yourself.
that's right. The baby's no good as a trap. Unless I guess you could throw it at
Well,
someone.
hold on. What if the baby is so cute that the robber picks up the baby and then the baby's like, "Oh, I'm really a bomb."
I get
Blows up.
sucker.
You'd have to have a lot of kids if people keep robbing your house often, though.
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
They're easy. They're easy to make.
big brother Jimmy is gone. It's time for little brother Jimmy Jr. to be the
I don't think
mom.
that's how naming conventions go.
Have you had more than one kid yet? I don't think you know how
It
naming
doesn't go
conventions go.
Jimmy, and then you have another kid named Jimmy, and that's Jimmy Jr., because the first one would be Jimmy Jr.
No, you can name them.
What
you
if
can
your
name
name
the kids
is
whatever the hell
Jimmy?
you
What
want?
if you just decide from
Jimmy
this
the Third,
moment
I mean.
on it's time to start the Jimmy train?
Yeah, it's a little Jim, and the kids will call him Jim Joe. You know, it shortens up real good there.
That's not right.
Yeah, then
Oliver,
you
you,
could have Jimmy the Third.
You play anything else, Oliver?
Yeah, I played a game called Republic.
Oh, little Mr. David Hayter, Jennifer Hale, basically the
Jennifer
entire
Hale.
cast of Metal Gear.
Carrie Payton's in there too.
Yeah.
Ryan Payton's the one that's making this game. It's a whole Metal Gear reunion. It's awesome.
It's an iOS
not-
game.
It's not awesome. It's pretty cool though.
Tell
yeah.
me about your Republic.
iOS game. Eric,
What?
you heard of this?
No, I'm looking it up right now.
Okay. It's so Ryan Payton. He used to be like I don't really know what his title was, but he used to work.
Lead design?
He was like almost second in command when Metal Gear 4 came out. But he had since stopped working for Hideo Kojima and started his own thing called Camouflage. And I think this is his first game.
Yeah.
But it's on the iPad, and yeah, like the voice actors, David Hayter, who I don't know if people don't know, but he played Solid Snake, is in there. Also, Jennifer Hale, who's done a lot of voice acting.
Female Shepherd.
A female shepherd, Dr. Naomi Campbell? No, that's not right. What's her name?
Naomi. I don't know. I don't remember.
Naomi
now.
Hunter.
There you go. Sure.
And even the guy who plays Drebin is in it. He's super cool too. It's a stealth game, and you play as sort of kind of like a nameless figure who can hack into like cameras and control panels and stuff, but you're trying to help this one girl escape. And I haven't played much of it, actually. I only just downloaded it this morning. But you're trying to help her escape because she's being accused of reading this manifesto, which is written by this kind of freedom fighter, who I think is David Hayter. I haven't come across his character yet, but like you see around like this control center where they have like
cameras.
No, they have like cork boards full of like just like strings leading into things, and they're trying to hunt this guy down. It's a whole investigation on this guy named Zobek. Is that the name? I don't think that's the name.
Something like that.
Sure, but
Yeah.
it's like David Hayter's face, and I'm like, I recognize that motherfucker. So yeah, super early into it, but it's you're helping this girl, and you're unlocking doors for her, and you're telling her where to go, and you can sneak around, and you can pickpocket like soldiers and stuff. And it seems really interesting to me. I don't really know where it's headed right now, and it's a series of 5 episodes. So
How much are they?
I think it's $15 for the season pass.
And it's iOS only right now?
I think so. Can you get it on your Android, Matt?
Not right now. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, $15. Super interesting. I think I'm really into it because of the sort of Metal Gear pedigree, but I would like to hear other people's opinions on it. I think it's getting pretty good reviews anyways. But,
It's not on Android yet.
no? Oh yeah, you have Android.
Yeah, exclusively on the App Store right now. It was kickstarted. I remember this being kickstarted 2 years ago? Like a long time ago. Long time ago.
That's cool, because actually you can, as this sort of overseeing character that you play, you can kind of see the profiles and the profiles of these random like guards walking around, and if you click on their passports, it'll show you like, I think it's a picture of the actual person, but it'll also be stamped like Kickstarter backer. So all those guys.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're
So
getting
like,
recognition for their contributions.
so it's like people who donated so much, they get
Yeah,
their info
yeah.
put in as
Yeah, but
miscellaneous guard.
instead of just like a shitty end credit kind of recognition, these guys are literally in the game, and you can see their picture.
Cool.
Yeah,
I don't know. It looked interesting. Like you're sort of tapping the screen to switch your view between cameras. You're kind of telling her when to move and when to hide. And
yeah, because you can see the guards and you can see their pattern, and they're walking a distinctive pattern, just like any other stealth game. But yeah, you'll tell her to, okay, well it's safe to cross, so go, and she'll go run, and you'll be collecting intel, whether it be like an email that you can hack into, or a telephone conversation that you can listen into, or like that type of thing, or like just information on the wall. You can take all this intel and give it to this information broker, and he will give you points to unlock other skills. Like, hacking into emails isn't a skill that is readily available. You have to collect some of this intel and sell it to him, and then he will unlock your ability to do that. There's one other point that I want to mention on this, but I totally forgot about it. Ask me anything about Republic. I won't be able to answer it in depth.
That's
it.
Feel like you covered it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing to me looks like, you remember that part from the Watch Dogs demo where the what's his name, Aiden or whatever, is controlling the statues, and he's he's like, okay, you gotta go now, because he moved the statues in such a way and the guy can run across and not get seen. It looks like that, but
yeah, that's exactly
expanded out into a whole game.
I don't know if this will keep on like this. I imagine it would, but shit.
Uh-oh. Are you just going to start playing Metal Gear right now?
No, that was my telephone ring. Hopefully she calls my never mind. Other than that, I went snowboarding yesterday. That was fun. Drove out to the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How was that? Which mountains? Jasper?
Jasper.
Hmm.
Yeah, 4-hour drive.
A lot of snow?
4-hour drive, like an 8-hour boarding session, and then another 8-hour drive home. So fucking that makes for a long day.
You picked up another 4 hours on the way home? What the
I
fuck?
was gonna say, took you twice as long to get home.
No, sorry, 4 hours there and 4 hours back.
Oh.
Yeah, that is a long day, especially after, like, you are tired as shit after snowboarding that long.
Oliver, let me ask you a question. Why don't you do the snow tour buses that they do every weekend? That are like $109, and they drive you there, and then you get a lift pass, and then it drives you home.
Mainly cost, because it's more like $180, because you get the lift pass for $80, plus the ride is essentially $100. And with us, it was 4 people. We all paid for our own lift passes, so that's whatever. And then we split the cost, which is $100 in gas between 4 people.
Yeah, I guess with 4 people, it's not that big of a deal. But
yeah,
the not having to drive yourself factor is like...
yeah, and we just got done hassling Eric about the convenience of diapers, but this is totally different.
I am no stranger to the 5-6 hour drive. It's what I have to do to make it back to Edmonton every time now.
And like driving is not a big deal. I mean, I always save up podcasts for the week, so I'm listening to podcasts there and back, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's totally
So you're
fine.
not engaging with conversation.
Yeah, the other 3 people in the vehicle are just like, fuck, we have to listen to another episode of fucking ManaTank Podcast.
Fuck them. You know what?
Pretty much.
They want to drive, they can listen to whatever they want. Otherwise,
exactly.
we're going to hear me talk about this fucking video game for the next 3.5 hours, so saddle in!
They're sleeping anyways, right? So they're the fuckers that are not engaging me in conversation, the fucking driver that needs to stay up.
I
so
would
I'm
say
putting
that
in this...
the person who drives shouldn't have to pay for shit. Because that's kind of a punishment in and of itself.
Yeah, I guess, but like I mean, somebody has to drive, so we're just splitting the cost.
So you drove both ways.
I drove all the way there. And after the mountain, Amber drove for like about an hour, just so I could catch a couple Z's, and then a couple Z's actually.
Zed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well spoken. Well spoken. Hear, hear.
And then once I got my nap through, I took the steering wheel again, and drove home. It's all right. We've been doing it the last couple of years, so I'm okay with it.
4 hours isn't even.
No,
4 hours is nothing.
It
longer
is
than that to LA.
Sort of shitty, because last time we did it, our drive home was just like whiteout conditions. Like I could not see 10 feet in front of me, and it was the sketchiest shit I've ever done. Like I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I mean,
that's
like,
life in Canada, man.
There's instances like that don't make it worth it. But like the day on the mountain that day was actually really good, so I guess it's worth it. But you know, not
everybody will have that situation where you're like, well, I probably shouldn't be driving, and I certainly shouldn't be driving as fast as I am. But you know, I got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah, like you know what? As soon as we're done this show, I'm gonna drive down to the store. I'm gonna get myself something to eat. And then I'm going to hopefully not crash.
You saw it here. He's advocating drunk driving.
She looks like he's drinking orange juice. That's all I see.
I just understand that I am able to drive drunk better than most, so I will...
You know, put the pedal down and just get there and back as fast as you can. I mean, it's a minimum amount of time in the car. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Actually,
do it in reverse.
I
so
parked
they can't
out
get your
front.
license plate.
I parked out front last night, and my entire front windshield was frosted over, and I noticed that early this morning when I woke up, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna drive around and park in the garage, and instead of just scraping off my windshield, I just drove with completely no vision out my front window. I'm just like, whatever, I'll probably make it around a quarter of the block, and then we'll be fine. I'll be in my garage.
That's funny.
Anything else, Oliver? You want to talk about some news here?
That's about me. Yeah, that's about me.
Okay. Let's talk about some news. Not a ton of news this week, but it'll pick up eventually.
Yeah.
I
I
talked
feel
about
like
this.
we haven't had a news segment since we started doing the show again.
Yeah.
No, we always do a little bit. A little bit.
Well, yeah,
of
we
news.
do a segment,
The
but it's
bottom of
just
the
like
barrel news, though.
at the beginning of the segment, it's just like, yeah, there's not a lot of
Well,
news this week, so we'll
it's
talk
'cause
about
no
this one
vid-
thing for 5 minutes, and then jump to emails.
The PS4 came out on November 18th or whatever, and then nothing else yet has come out. So, when no video games come out, of course there's no video game news.
Well, there's a lot of hype involved around the March 4th release date of South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Yeah. Today's top story. Let us tell you about South Park. Let's talk about these Candy Crush guys. I read this story on the radio
that's
this week.
They're kind of a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, so the folks behind the popular iOS game Candy Crush, perhaps you've heard of it, perhaps you even
Not
played
to
it.
be confused with Marvel Puzzle Quest, because those are two totally different games.
It's almost not true, but the creators behind Candy Crush, they have trademarked the word candy as it applies to software. Let me see if I can do this off the top of my head. What was it? Software, video games, iOS apps, ebooks. There's another thing in there, and then the last one was baby monitors. So if anybody uses the word candy in any of those contexts, look out, because Candy Crush is coming for you.
That's so
Technically,
dumb.
though, it means they've registered for it. It has to be in active use for 5 years before it can become a trademark of theirs.
And I don't think there's any way that they can trademark the word candy.
No.
You wouldn't
Like-
think so, but here we find
Like,
ourselves.
you're telling me if I released a game 8 years from now that was called Candy Slayer,
Well, I'm glad you brought
I
that
would
up,
get
because
sued.
they've said that they're only going to take the fight to, because you know the iOS store, tons of like rip-offs and like very blatant rip-offs. Do you guys
So
know
if I
understand
were
what I'm
to
saying?
make a dual style game
Yeah.
and I called it Candy Crunch, they would sue me.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
they're saying. They're saying that they're only going to go after those rip-offs. So like Candy
Well-
Crusher or whatever, it would an obvious rip-off of Candy Crush, they'll have to go after it. But right now, they are currently trying to pursue legal action against Candy Slots, which is Candy Casino : slots. They have a whole line of Candy casino games where you win candies because they can't market gambling to underage users. And this is the slots game, and they are currently pursuing legal action against them. And they are also, because they have Candy Crush Saga, they are also trying to pursue legal action against Banner Saga,
Well,
which
what's
is that
interesting-
RPG that just came out last week.
What's interesting about that is they initially came out and said, no, we are not targeting Banner Saga, and then a couple days later they came out and said, okay, yeah, we're going after him for using the word Saga.
Yeah,
Let me introduce you guys into a brand new way of thinking that I like to call "fuck all Americans."
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
where anytime something comes out of an American's mouth, you just say, "Fuck you, you're American. Your opinion doesn't matter." And that's the world we live in today, is where people can register trademarks with the American government and try to trademark candy, and don't even try to bullshit this,
You
Eric.
know
You
for-
know that this is
you know for
100%
damn
your
well
nation's fault.
That is not. We are not the only nation in the world who does stupid shit like that.
Yeah, but you're the only nation who would accept a trademark on candy. Hence, absolutely.
It's true. It is
100%.
yeah, probably. I would maybe not the only nation, but the only nation where it would
Maybe
matter.
America and Iran.
Yeah, I was going to
Both
say.
of them would
What
accept
makes it even
candy
worse
as a trademark.
is the fact that we live in a country where
North
people give
Korea.
a shit about this and say, like, well, that company, technically, they have a stance for it. Let's let them sue it. Instead of, there needs to be somebody in the judicial system who says, that's a fucking stupid case, go away.
Yeah, in
But there won't
Canada,
be, because
they're
that
called
guy
judges.
will be bribed.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get bribed, his boss will be bribed and he will lose his job.
We've become, and I agree with you, we've become a society of sue-happy people, and there's absolutely no skin in the game for the person doing the suing. So there's all the reason in the world to go out and sue somebody, because, hey, you never know, they might just settle out of court for $2 million. There's no, if you fail in your lawsuit, there's nothing negative that happens to you other than you may have to pay your lawyer's fees. That's it.
And you're opposing lawyers' fees as well.
No,
you
you don't
cover
have
court
to.
costs of the loser. Yeah, you do.
Not here.
I'm pretty sure that it's true no matter where you are.
Mm-mm.
If you file a frivolous lawsuit, you cover the court
Well,
costs
if it gets
of
ruled
whoever.
frivolous, yeah. But there's no skin in the game, and the thing is that we've set all those precedents for, yeah, go ahead, sue it, sue this person for that, and now we've reached critical mass where we can't go back and say no, don't do that, because then they're going to come out and say, well, you guys set the precedent for it 20 years ago with this.
Yeah.
Well, this
I
was
have
like
precedent from this judge in this year in this case, so I'm allowed to sue you.
this was like when the what's his fuck who made Soul Blade wanted to trademark the word edge because of Soul Edge in big whatever it's a sword and Soul Blade or whatever it was never a game, right? There was never.
No, it was
A Soul
Soul
Edge
Edge
game.
was the predecessor for Soul Calibur.
Soul Edge was the very first game.
Yeah.
I thought Soul Blade was the very first game.
Soul Edge was the first. I guess maybe Soul Blade existed, but I don't know.
Wait.
Soul Edge was before Soul Calibur, and then it became Soul Calibur because Edge got trademarked.
Well, the
Like,
creator
something like
of
that, yeah.
Soul Blade tried to trademark the word edge and tried to sue Mirror's Edge back when that was coming out, and this was the exact same sort of thing. And fortunately, it fell through then because someone went, this is really fucking stupid.
And that's
And-
probably why he tried to sue Mirror's Edge, because he won his lawsuit against the Soul Calibur people.
I'm not up to date enough on that story. I just vaguely
And
remember
I'm
it
not
from
either. I mean, I'm
from
just making it
years
up
and
'cause
years
I'm
ago,
drunk,
but it's a real dumb story, and it's super fucking shitty, and it doesn't surprise me at all because Candy Crush is kind of a super fucking shitty. It's a
way
great
that-
free-to-play game, I guess, but like any of those free-to-play games, man, do they try and worm money out of you in some real crappy ways.
As
I
soon as I
read,
saw this, I mean, I had Candy Crush on my phone, and I enjoyed it. It was a good way to pass time while you're taking a dump. But
MPQ?
as soon as I read this story and started to understand it, I uninstalled the game. But the way that I see it is that the Banner Saga should actually, in a way, be thankful because they are getting mountains of free press. I mean, I saw Banner Saga on Steam a couple weeks ago. I'm like, that looks okay, but now that this has exploded into the main gaming stream or gaming scene, it's like I kind of want to buy it just to support them.
It's absolutely true. I feel like I know a lot more about Banner Saga than I want to, just because I know. Not that it doesn't look like a great game. It just wasn't on my radar at all. And then just from kind of close proximity of learning about this story, Banner Saga looks pretty good. I don't know.
But that's the thing, though, because let's say you buy this after the lawsuit was announced, right? The people at Candy Crush can then say that the reason that this additional income generated was because of the lawsuit, and they can then, if they win their lawsuit, get access to that money because that's technically
No.
theirs.
No, it's not.
Yes, that's exactly what will happen.
No.
It's more that
if they win their lawsuit, they can use additional
by
revenue
making such a
generated because of the
high-profile-
lawsuit as income.
By making such a high-profile lawsuit, you're understanding that you are going to be giving free press to this other company.
Yes, and winning the lawsuit will essentially put that second company into bankruptcy.
Yeah, probably. But they have to prove that the Banner Saga is intentionally ripping off the Candy Crush brand, so on, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, if somebody else
never-
were to come
they
out with a
never will.
brand of
They
soda
never
and
will.
call it
Popsy.
Super Coke or Popsy, something stupid like that,
Popsy is a great fucking name for a knockoff soda.
they could come out, like, they would have grounds for it. But this is a game that it's a very common word, especially when you're talking about the medieval style RPG. The word saga relates handily to that. There's no grounds for this lawsuit. It's just them being stupid and
No,
trying
it's
to
true. There
secure-
is no grounds because you're not going to be able to go back and sue people who came out with games before Candy Crush that have Saga in the name. So how can you sue a company that comes out with a game that has Saga in the name in the future? It's completely pointless, but we have to blame Americans for allowing it to clog up the court systems.
Unfortunately, this is going to get drawn out, and there is a chance that they could win. That's how fucked up the judicial system has gotten. It's gotten to the point where whoever's got the most money can basically force the system in their favor.
Yes.
That's all I
Let
gotta
me-
say on that.
Let me just I It was earlier this week. It had nothing to do with this story, but I read an article in the Edmonton newspaper about free iOS games, quote, free-to-play games, or pay-to... whatever, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Like the game models where it's free-to-play, but you can buy things, right? Candy Crush makes over $1 million a day.
Yeah.
In their current model. And because of that, they can afford stupid lawsuits and trying to copyright names that are completely uncopyrightable. Like $1 million a day for a free iOS game is ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's not even that much money.
Well, and that's what sucks, though, and that's what's sucking the game market in the wrong direction, is that people are seeing this potential for that kind of success, and then they're just pumping out these shitty money grab games. I mean, look at, for example, like Blacklight Retribution and Warframe and shit like that.
Ghost Recon Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, you know what? It's a good thing that we here are pretty talented, so we can, suck the gaming industry back in the direction we want it. Like a golf ball through a garden hose. It's an uphill battle, but I mean, you suck hard enough, and anybody watch that Shadows of Mordor? They released a video sort of detailing a little bit about the gameplay, a little bit about their Nemesis system.
Yeah,
Never even heard
talking
of this
about
game.
that.
I'm finishing it up right now, and this game looks fucking dope. Holy shit.
Yes, thank you.
Man, it looks fucking crazy.
Words I would have never expected that from you about a Lord of the Rings IP, but
Yeah, neither did I.
that's
'Cause
awesome.
I saw it on that Google Drive thing. I'm like, I don't want to watch that thing. But then I figured I should watch it so I could have some sort of conversation. But man, that game looks fucking awesome. Holy crap.
So Shadows of
finished it.
Mordor is a next-gen... it looks a lot like Batman. It's a very Batman-style combat where it's free-flowing. Enemies are getting symbols above their heads when you have to counter them, and that's kind of your general combat. And the video they released is sort of detailing this Nemesis system where enemies that you fight so say I'm fighting this whatever his name is, I'm fighting this orc, and then I don't kill him. He manages to escape. Well, he's gonna remember me because I cut his arm off or whatever, and that's gonna reflect how he kind of. It's gonna reflect how the kind of orc society develops in a way that yeah.
Sorry, my sister just told me that she's going to come over with a couple friends. I'll mute my mic.
Ooh.
So that shit doesn't happen, but I'll try to stay within the conversation, but go ahead.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up in a couple minutes here too, so.
We got no emails?
We got a few.
Okay, yeah, so just keep the show going. I'm still going to be part of it. They're going to be in and out, and yeah, hopefully quick. Anyways.
So it basically, these enemies will remember you. So if I throw a guy through a fire or something, his face is going to be all burned. He might get real scared. He's not going to want to be on the front lines anymore, and now he's, say, a slave driver was the example that happened in the video. And it's basically, what they're promising is that there won't be any canned enemies. Every enemy will be unique based on the encounters they've had with you up until that point.
So what about, I guess my question with that is, what about these massive battles? I mean, Lord of the Rings is known for having massive amounts of characters on screen, so they're saying each one of those is going to be a unique individual that you can alter how they react.
That's pretty ambitious. And
It seems
that's
to
what
me
they're
that
promising.
it's going to be, like, if it is people in that big battle, it'll be, sure, there will be 1,000 units in that battle, but no matter which one you get into combat with and escapes or whatever, then the story will arc from that point, right?
Yeah, or the way I sort of imagine it being is that really there will be canned quote-unquote enemies, but there will also be the special tier of enemies, and those are the guys who will, basically the named guys. They'll have names. Those are the guys that will remember you. Those are the guys that you can kill, or you kind of have decisions to make about them, and yeah. It looks really good. That game is shaping up to look like a pretty dope Lord of the Rings game.
I think it's important to note, though, too, that this game was under a little bit of scrutiny from Ubisoft when they started showing it, like, wait a minute now, that looks awfully similar to our Assassin's Creed 2 engine.
Yeah, I saw a story about that, and actually when I first saw this, I'm like, yeah, you know what, that looks a lot like Assassin's Creed. But now that you mention it, Matt, the makers of Batman, did you say?
Not from the makers. It's from Monolith, not the makers of Batman, but it looks very Batman.
Yeah, and it's a WB game, And yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of Batman in it right now too.
Yeah, the only thing that looks like Assassin's Creed is you climb buildings almost in the way that the Assassin... But really, how else do you put building climbing into games? Like, there's kind of one way to do it, and Assassin's Creed did it, so why not make it look like that?
Look at, like, when he's sitting on a perch, though, look at, like, the way he's crouching down looks exactly like the way Ezio does it, and...
Yeah, but come on, how many different ways is there to crouch on a perch?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't...
Like, this is the fucking thing we hate about Americans.
If anything, I'd say it's more like Dishonored. It looks more like Dishonored and Batman than it does Assassin's Creed.
I don't think it's bad that it pays homage to those games, because what those games did was great. So to incorporate them into another game is awesome. I'm just saying you can't deny the resemblance.
Yeah.
But I know they were like accused of just using code from Assassin's Creed. Did anything ever come of that?
I haven't seen anything since. I did read that story though.
Ever prove it, or was it just like a blind accusation and it turns out that they weren't? The games just kind of look the same.
How could they have pulled actual code from it though, without having all the source material?
I'm not a game developer. I have no idea how any of that stuff works.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That video's out there. Check it out if you want. That game's shaping up, to look really good. Fuck yeah.
Do we have any idea when it's coming out?
They're saying 2014 sometime. I suspect that it's going to get pushed back to 2015, just because that's kind of how these things always seem to go.
That's going to be next gen, right? Or PS4 or Xbox One?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks good. Yeah. That's all the news I got. Anybody else got any other stories I want to bring up?
Nah.
Yeah, not a ton going on. We'll do some emails here. Podcast@ManaTank.com, email address you want to write in. Alan writes in, says, hey, Matt, Kev, Swag, and Eric. My name is Alan. And, new paragraph. And I have just moved to the Netherlands to start a new job for 8 months, and I couldn't bring my Xbox 360 or my PS3 because I had no room in my bags. I have my laptop for gaming. It's alright, but I would rather have a console, as I got new games before I moved country. So I was wondering, should I buy a games console for the time that I'm here, or should I pay to have one of my consoles posted to me with a few games from Ireland where my consoles are?
Probably just be cheaper to...
Ireland to the Netherlands, huh?
It'd probably just be cheaper to ship it. I mean, you're probably going to pay $50-$60 in shipping, but to buy a whole new console and a bunch of games, you're looking at like a $500 investment.
Yeah, it will for sure be cheaper to just ship yourself games. But if the question is, should you buy a Xbox One or a PS4 for your 8 months in Ireland? I can tell you from experience, not a lot going on with those consoles right now.
Yeah.
Really nothing to play.
I'm assuming they use the same power. Because I know if you take it like a console to Australia or Europe, they have different power conversions.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they know how to deal with all that shit in Europe where it matters. Maybe I should have talked about this in news a little bit. Just a follow-up there. The PSN Plus update for February.
Is that live?
No, but it's looking like Metro Last Light for the PS3, Dynasty Warriors Next for the Vita, Mod Nation Racers Road Trip for the Vita, and Outlast for the PS4. That's for Europe, but there's nothing.
Never the same as America.
There's nothing in North America. Well, Europe is getting all that plus BioShock Infinite, so they're guessing for America we will be getting Outlast, Last Light, and probably something else. But there are some games coming off. So if you got PSN Plus and you haven't got these yet, DMC is gone January 29th. Remember Me is gone January 29th. Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed for the Vita is gone on the 29th.
No, Sonic All-Stars Racing!
BlazBlue is gone on the 29th. GTA Liberty City Stories is gone on the 29th. Don't Starve is gone on the 5th. And Resogun is gone on the 5th. So, put those in your download queue. You don't have to have them on your machine. You can download them and cancel them, but just...
I've been doing that with the PS4 games, too. Just go to the PSN store online and just put them in my download queue there. So that when I get a PS4... Yeah, you just go to the PlayStation store, you link your account, and then you can go to the online store and just find that game. And it knows if you're PlayStation Plus, so you just purchase it online and puts it in your queue.
Weird. That's cool.
So if
But
you
yeah.
don't have a PS4 yet, you can still go onto the website and get your free PS4 games in case they get taken off.
Sorry to sidetrack from Alan's question, but just get your console shipped to you, man. Like, whoa. I mean, I guess that does take probably a couple weeks, but you know, you're there for 8 months. You got
Ireland to the
play
Netherlands, I
something.
feel like that'd be pretty quick.
I don't have a good sense of where, like, what that distance is, or even where the Netherlands and Ireland are in relation to one another.
Really
so
not even that far. But I mean, you got to go over a lot of pieces of water to make that trip. So it
But
could
they
be
have
pretty expensive.
airplanes going every day.
do they have airplanes made it to Europe yet? I don't. Is
I
that
think
right?
so. I think Amelia Earhart made it once.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm
Amelia?
sorry. Was that too edgy for you or something?
Oh wait, that's
Yeah. Get him.
Sorry,
Get him
Mighty
shipped.
Ducks.
Get him shipped to you.
Mighty Ducks is the ball.
That's my advice.
Speaking of jobs, I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
So I have a buddy who works for a company that sells technology to school districts, and he makes a ton of money doing it. And I just, in passing, one day made a comment to him, hey, if anything like that ever opens up, let me know. I got a call last Sunday from him saying, guess what? Something opened up. The regional vice president is flying in. He wants to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Went through the whole interview process, got all my questions answered. It's really enticing, makes a fuck ton of money, but I don't know if I want to take it because it's a job just from talking to the people who do it that I don't think it would be one I'd be happy at. So my question is, it makes about 3 times as much as I make now, but I know I would not be happy doing it.
How do you know this?
Eric from Arizona writes in, wants to know if he should quit his job and start a new job that he knows he'll hate.
Let me interest you in the fact where you just said you will make 3 times as much as you make right now.
Let me interest you in the fact that as a guy who makes less than $30,000 a year, I'm very happy with my job.
See, and I'm kind of on the same side as Matt because I actually really enjoy my job. I love what I do. For the first time, I don't wake up and hate going to work. I actually look forward to it.
Yeah, see, for me, that is worth more than making whatever the fuck I could be making if I stayed an electrician.
Well, and what kind of pushed me over the edge with this, I actually went back and talked to my boss and said, look, I'm getting courted by another company. You know, what's your take on it here? And he let me know that, you know, there's a lot of room for growth here at the district that I'm at, and you know, I could move up and make as much money there as I would be making at this other job. The other job is a sales position. It's after a year, it's purely 30% commission.
Ooh.
30%. 30% is...
30% is a lot.
That is a lot.
Trust me, I know of somebody that I work with, his wife works on 10% commission. Like, she makes $10 an hour plus 10% commission. But she works for one of the biggest food distributors in Canada. And she makes a shit ton of money.
Oh, the guy that I know, he's got a really well-established region, and he said that last year he cleared $175,000-$200,000.
You're not going to start at that, though, with a sales job, right?
The first year, it's a base of $50,000 plus 5% salary. Then after that, they take away the base and they give you 30%. And the district that I was applying for is the oldest, most well-established district in the company. This is a national company, so...
So you are getting the absolute best job in the company handed to you on a silver platter, and you're like, maybe I should be a douchebag and make no money for the rest of my life.
Hey,
listen.
You got a kid on the way. Take the fucking job.
I talked to the guy who does it, and he said this job can be very, very invasive on your personal life. If you want to make that kind of money, you're going to be working 75 hours a week. And to me, I don't want that. I don't want to be working 80 hours a week.
It's sales jobs are you work as much as you want because the more you sell, the more you make. So if you have already made your money for the month and you are totally okay, you could just fucking, I don't know what the specifics with that company are, but you could just not go to work. You're like, I'm gonna stay home with the kid this week. I've already made my money. But that being said, you could not sell anything for 3 months and then suddenly you don't make any money.
And there's that potential. I mean, my buddy said that he's got the freedom to do what he wants. He works from home, and he goes out and he schedules visits with these school districts and pretty much helps them with what they need for setups and introduces them to new styles of technology and stuff. And I'm just afraid that they're painting a rosy picture, and that once you get in, it's going to be a lot of high pressure sales. And
Yeah, welcome to sales jobs. They are all high pressure.
And you see, I don't think I want that, because ultimately that's not what I want in a career goal. But if somebody came to you with a job that you know you would not like and said, here's your salary of this, do you want to make 3 times as much, but you're going to hate the job?
I would do it for at least a year.
I was an electrician where I made much more money than I make now, and I said, fuck this, I hate it, and I went to make no money.
But that's the thing, though. Like,
and I'm doing fine now.
I make more than enough right now that I can live a comfortable life. But if I was making 3 times as much money, fuck, I would deal with that job. I don't give a fuck.
I mean,
because 3 times as much as I make right now is a rich
Kevin, how many hours a week do you work?
I work 40 hours a week.
Imagine having a family with a kid on the way and saying, all right, you work a lot as it is now you have to double that.
It's
not 80 hours in office. It's not when they tell you it's an 80-hour work week. It's not. All that means is that you're getting, like, clients will phone you at dinner time. You're at home, you have to answer the phone and do something for your client. It doesn't mean that you are physically nose to the grindstone 80 hours a week.
But think about it like this, Eric. You taking this job, assuming it works out, means that your wife never has to work another day in her life. Ever.
That's true.
It also means you're going to hate your life
all
if
in
you hate the
different
job.
situations, and like Kevin being like the bachelor that you are, this would be an awesome opportunity for you.
I think this is an awesome opportunity for anyone.
Well, financially it is, but like even what Matt said, like me personally, I have the opportunity to be making a lot more money than I am in my field as an electrician, but I choose not to because I do not like the work. I would not like to do industrial work up north in Fort McMurray.
But that's the thing, though.
It's like a quality of life thing.
The travel aspect of getting a job like that in Canada is different. Eric wouldn't be traveling.
Yes,
he would be in Phoenix.
Yeah, he totally would be.
I would be covering all of the school districts and schools in Phoenix proper. So Phoenix is 170 by 20.
You would never have to take a 5-hour bus drive to get to work.
That's in city. That's
nothing.
City. But that is at most 1 hour to an hour and a half driving.
Here's the other part of the equation is that the position that I'm in now has the potential to work up to the district office director position, which makes about twice as much as I'm making now, and I could be in that position in a year or two, and still have the exact same schedule, doing exactly what I want now. It's just making a ton more money. So for my qualm is, do I hold out and hope I can work up to a position like that, or take a job that I'm going to hate and make $125,000 a year?
Can you get by with what you make now?
Absolutely. Chrissy and I live an incredibly comfortable lifestyle.
Well, then it doesn't. Well, the kid's on the way. Remember, the kid's coming.
Yeah.
Assuming the kid is here, can you get by?
Oh, absolutely.
Then I don't know I don't even know why you're considering this. Fuck that. If you can get by fine, it's not about being rich. Especially if you have a chance to move up, why wouldn't you stick with the job you enjoy now and then move up in your year, 2 years, 3 years?
He's got a kid on the way. It's not about comfort. It's about
providing
the best possible life for your kid.
I would rather be around for my kid, though. I wouldn't want to be that type of dad who's gone all the time and just like, well, my dad is a paycheck that rolls in every 2 weeks.
Yeah, but arguably the first years of your kid's life are the best years to not be there. But think about it. They're not a person. They're not an individual. You're not forming their belief system.
No, but you're forming their intelligence. 1 to 2 years old. Like, if you can sacrifice that time, I would say sacrifice it. I mean, being someone who's not in your position, I would say go for it. I would say there's no reason to deny yourself a chance to grow. What if I told you I could be, just for a hypothetical situation, what if there's that possibility 6 months from now of moving up to a position that's making twice as much? But see, that's the thing, though. You're taking possibility, I'm taking, and I'm giving you this right now. I haven't been offered the job yet. I'm still waiting to hear back. Oh, well, if you get the job, take it. The job isn't more money guaranteed. The job is also, hey, if you're a good salesman, you'll make more money. Maybe Eric sucks ass at being a salesman. But that's the thing, though. You have 1 year of a guaranteed salary to learn the job.
And
if
then
you
what
can't
happens,
learn it
though?
in the year, then who's to say you can't go back to your old job and
Because
make
they would
the
fill
same
the
as you were?
position.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
not
that's
usually
the
how
thing,
that. They're
though.
not. That's not usually how that works.
Yeah, it's
You
not.
would
hey,
be
go check
surprised.
that out.
You would be really surprised.
I'm totally like, this is another situation.
I don't know
where
how we fucking got here.
This is another situation where I totally hear both sides of the story, and I agree with both of you. But I am going to take Matt's side this time, because a job that you do not hate and that you do not mind waking up to go to has a lot to say about itself.
But that's
Yeah.
the thing, though. You haven't tried the new job yet. You just are afraid because you think you
That's
might
true,
hate
too.
it.
Like,
You're
maybe
not
you
willing
might
to
end up
give
liking
yourself
it.
the chance.
That's true, too.
What
Like,
if you go into this job and you are a better salesman than you could have possibly imagined, and you love your job?
That's where I'm stuck. I'm in this conundrum of, I could probably do it because I like technology and I can talk to people about it. I can't sell people shit because if I think something's crap, I'm not going to sell it to them.
But that's the thing, though. That is
Maybe
the
that's
best
part of your-
part. That is
part
the
of your-
best
yeah.
salesman you can possibly have, is somebody who comes to you and says, "This is crap. This is why. Let me tell you about this one."
Yeah,
That is the best salesman you can have.
I don't know.
Volteri writes in. I don't know how we got to this serious life.
'Cause I wrote
fucking
in.
conversation. Oh, right. Sorry. There
Eric
we go.
from Arizona wrote in.
Thanks,
Come on.
Eric from Arizona, for writing in. I hope we answered your question to your satisfaction.
You're welcome.
Volteri writes in, says,
This is Vic Mees.
I'm editing a little bit here. I'm just trying to get the
Just
summary of this email. No, we would get pulled off YouTube. I can't.
His emails are pretty
Okay,
vulgar.
this goes back to last week when we were talking about
It's pretty
I
bad
didn't
on
like.
that fucking chat of ours.
Yeah, this goes back to last week
Playing Civ with Vic Mees was the fucking funnest thing.
Yeah.
when we were talking about Metro 2033 and how I couldn't get it in Russian with the subtitles. Volteri says, as a man who has spent his entire movie watching and game playing life reading subtitles, dubs are retarded and go completely against what art is all about. Also, okay, and then he makes a counterpoint to himself, I guess. Also, why in the world would Russians in the Russian metro system speak English with Russian accents? Yeah, catch you later, immersion. Eric, we don't need you here, it says also. I don't know what the question is, really, other than something about how Eric goes on about immersion and then goes on a rant about how he doesn't like foreign VO with subtitles. What do you have to say about that?
I don't. Because I want to be able to enjoy it.
When did this come up? This came up last week?
This was last week when I was saying I wish I could play Metro 2033 in Russian with English subtitles, but I couldn't.
And then Eric was like, why would you want to read something?
Yeah.
Because
basically.
usually the English dub is fucking terrible.
Yes.
I've learned this from watching anime, and
It
even
comes
though
down-
when I would watch like a non-subtitle thing, I'm like, awesome, I don't have to read subtitles. But the I don't know if it's the budget that constrains them, but like whatever they get to get the English voice actors in and have them act out these things, because anime is terrible fucking dialogue. Let's put that out there.
when it's translated directly into English,
Yeah.
it's real
But
dumb.
the thing is when you're reading the subtitle, you're going to be reading what the actor would have said.
So you're hearing an actor say it. You're hearing the inflection in their voice. You're hearing the emotion. You just read the meaning of the words.
I can see how that would work with certain games, but I think with shooters, where especially if it's story driven, while there's a lot of action going on, when I'm playing a shooter, even with it like Halo, if I have subtitles that come on and I need to read it across the bottom as action's happening, fuck that story dump. I'm not getting it because I'm not going to read it.
Am I the only person in the world who can watch a movie and read the subtitles? Like, when everyone complains, they're like, well, I gotta read the subtitles, I can't see what's going on. Like, am I the only person who can just scan the subtitles on the bottom of the screen and still look at the screen? Does everyone else literally press their face to the subtitle on the
I
screen?
think it's because you read fast, man. I don't read as fast. And
It's just
sometimes
because-
I'm reading it, and then I'm like, I sort of missed what just happened.
No, it's really easy. I find it really easy to subtitles in games, subtitles in movies. Like,
Especially,
it's nothing.
like, maybe it's a little awkward for the first 5 minutes, but then you just get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of subtitles. I would always rather hear something in its if it hasn't been specifically written and recorded in English, I'd much rather hear it in its native language with English subtitles.
I have family members that I lived with who they will watch TV, American English TV, full volume with the subtitles on as well.
That's weird. Why do they do that?
My
that is
cousin
super fucking weird.
that grew up there, she's 18. She's been ingrained with that, and that's the only way she'll watch TV now is with subtitles on.
Have you asked them why they do that?
Because they started doing it because the speakers on their TV were real shitty, yet they would still turn it up to try to still hear what it was saying, and then still turn the subtitles on, and it just is stuck. And their kids grew up with it, and it bothers the shit out of me.
I bet their kids excel at elementary school because they have grown up reading.
They're probably also deaf.
That's true.
Valtteri also says, there's a part 2 to this question.
Oh, great.
Well, no, okay, you go ahead. It's separated enough that yeah, okay. What are you going to say?
Do you play games with subtitles on?
No, never.
Do you?
Only in the case of if it is in another language.
And then they usually just force the subtitles so you understand.
When they're turned on, do you just leave them on, or do you actively?
I turn them off. I fucking turn them off every time because I find myself. I started doing it with
the action, obviously.
Well, I started doing it with Oblivion and like those types of games where you'd be talking to someone and they would have it, and I would read through it faster than they would say it, and then I would just click through it, click.
And you don't get to enjoy the voice acting.
Yeah, so I started turning.
In Mass Effect for me too.
I started turning them off and then just listening to what they're saying.
Yeah.
I feel like though with the subtitles, I comprehend the plot better because I gain more out of reading than I do out of listening. So I can see the benefit of both.
Yeah, like if I read something, I will remember it. Whereas if I just hear it, especially with video games, I'll go back and play something that I just played 2 months before, and I don't know if I have Alzheimer's, but huge sections of this game, I'll be like, did I not go through this part? Like, I don't remember this at all. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. So, Valtteri also says, what is your favorite alcoholic beverage? And why is it Jägermeister?
What?
kind of put us into a corner there.
Tell me about Jägermeister, Kevin Byer. Why is your favorite drink
is one of the
Jägermeister?
most amazing drinks you can possibly drink. I remember being, I want to say 13, and it was Christmas morning, and every Christmas morning from that moment on,
every day after,
every shot of
day
Jäger,
since, shot of Jäger, 11 a.m.
And I'm like, Dad, I don't want to do a shot of Jäger right now. And he's like, it'll put hair on your chest. And let me tell you about my chest. There's fucking hair on that motherfucker.
Nice, yeah. That's why you got to watch the video version of this podcast, because
God damn.
That's
no,
hilarious.
Jäger puts hair on your chest. Absolutely. It is a man's drink.
I have a hairier chest than even you, and I don't drink Jäger.
And that is not true.
I remember being
it is. I bet it is.
We got time here. You can whip it out.
We're just gonna go. We're gonna go chest to chest. We're gonna
Let's
see
go.
who's. All right.
Let's go.
Give these guys incentives to watch
look at this. Look at this
Holy
chest.
shit.
Oh, that wins.
That's a
Holy
fuzzy, buddy.
shit.
You got nothing. There's Kevin. Look at this. This is the winner.
Jesus.
wins.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is the
conceding.
That's something else.
You should see my back.
I've got. I have literally 0 chest hair. None.
Actually, that's funny that I'm wearing the shirt. My chest hair actually does sort of make a bat symbol.
You
on my chest.
shaved it like
No,
that.
I swear to God.
Oh, man. That's all the emails. Podcast, ManaTank.com. You want to write in an email. That's all the podcasts that we got time for.
That's
Watch the video version of this one, because the shirts literally came off. So
Can I show him? Can I show him? I'm going to show him.
hey, whatever, man. I took my shirt off. I just think it's a great time.
That's a little bit of a bat symbol.
See? Yeah.
That does look like a bat symbol.
Yeah, kinda.
You got the bullet hole where the bullet went right through there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my third nipple.
That was a dark day. Dark day when Oliver got shot.
Looks like a bat symbol. And I did not. I swear to God, I did not
weird,
shave that in.
fucking weird podcast.
Oh, this is #1 numero uno podcast Mexicano.
Hey, you can follow me on Twitter if you guys want. I'm the Matt Eads.
I'm OJ_A_, and it is fucking dumb. I kind of want to change it again.
Super weak, dude.
I kind of want to change it again.
I bet you could buy your old one back from that guy.
I don't want my old one. He can have it, and somebody else can take this one, and I'm going to try to figure something out.
Yeah.
Change my name weekly, apparently.
Batman hairy chest guy at Aguilar. You follow me at Dinner Dangles. I'm on the Twitters.
You know
as
what we
well.
didn't talk about?
What?
The Last of Us Left Alone trailer.
Hey, yeah, that DLC comes out next week. I'd rather just all of us play it and talk about it
Is
than
that next week? No, that's
right away.
That will be an impossibility for me to play. Because
Okay.
I
Yeah,
have
that
A,
game.
not bought the game, and B,
Yeah, that's
deleted
right.
the game off my system.
Well,
Yeah.
that's fine. The real people will play it, and
You can follow me at Honest Pizza if you want to see what my chest looks like. Look at either Matt or Kev's head, and that is exactly what it looks like.
it's so muscly. Like you could grate a block of cheese on that thing, man.
I literally have 0 chest hair.
That's gonna do it for the show.
Oh, man.
Not gonna be back next week.
Enjoy your Super Bowl, everybody.
Yeah, we're taking a Super Bowl. Did you know that the Super Bowl is trademarked? Did you know that?
That makes sense.
As
Like
a radio
Tupperware can't make
as
a
a
Super Bowl?
as a radio broadcaster, I cannot say Super Bowl on the air.
Oh, really?
I can
What if
also,
you're talking about the Super Bowl?
Well, if I'm like, hey man, do you want this soup or bowl? Like maybe I could.
What if you had a go to the Super Bowl contest?
We are calling it the Big Game. Win the ultimate party for the Big Game,
That's
which
Really?
technically is also trademarked, but will probably be okay.
Any bets?
We have
Bets on
radio
the Super
people
Bowl?
down here say Super Bowl all the time.
You can, as long as nobody calls you out on it, nothing's going to happen, and probably
Or you get
nobody
expressed written consent from the Public Service Department of the NHL or the NFL and its affiliates.
I feel like
Yeah.
we're wandering
Fox
down the whole
Broadcasting.
YouTube content creation avenue again with rights, and it's stupid.
will. Yeah, I don't know how we got here. But anyways, that's where we'll be next Sunday watching
You want
football.
to make bets on the Super Bowl?
Seahawks.
Broncos.
I want to make
Manning.
a bet.
Are the Seahawks
Oliver,
in
Who
it?
do you want to bet?
Of who's playing, for one?
I don't know.
Seahawks and Broncos. Peyton Manning.
Colorado and Seattle, right?
Yeah.
All right, I want to bet on Peyton Manning's team,
Yes.
Which one's that one?
The Broncos.
Oh.
Broncos.
Well, for the sake of the conversation, I'll go for Seahawks then.
All right. Good for the conversation.
Are we betting anything? Because really,
Yeah.
I can just think-
Next week, the loser
I'm-
has to.
It'll be the week after next week.
Shave a bat
yeah.
symbol into their chest.
After the Super Bowl, they have to, like, wax a bit of their chest.
Oh.
Like on the fucking
On the podcast.
Oh, okay, hang on. Are we talking like
I
let's
don't
get
know.
let's
I
get the contractual details out here, all right?
I don't have that much interest in this game.
You should take him up
You
on
think
that because
I
if
do?
you
I
if
just
you
wanna
have to
see
do it,
you have
it's
to wax your chest. That
No,
should be enough
not-
incentive.
not nearly as big of a deal for Oliver as it will be for Kevin. It's a
Well, no,
lot
I mean,
more
I'll
hair
just-
to come off.
I'll
I
just
will
take
order-
like a piece of duct tape and then Well, I mean,
That
it's
doesn't
not
count.
actual.
That
No.
doesn't count. That's
No,
not.
you'd have to go to the store and purchase a
I'm
waxing
not buying fucking
a wax
waxing
strip.
kit.
Yeah, a strip,
Bullshit.
one
I'm not
strip,
doing
one
that
strip.
either. I will bet you a pizza.
guys are
I will
pussies.
order you if
Oh.
you win. I will order you pizza, and you can have it while we do this podcast the week after.
That's kind of
That's-
interesting. Yeah, it'll show up during the. I like that. I like that.
All right,
Order it at the start
I'm
of
on
the show,
board.
and it shows up during the show.
I
Vice
will-
versa, though.
I
There
will
you go.
vice versa this.
Great.
There you go. Tune in 2 weeks to find out the exciting conclusion.
There.
to
Now
this-
I got something riding on this fucking Super Bowl. I'm gonna be
This
stuck at a
pizza
Super Bowl
bet.
party and just have some interest in it.
I feel like Matt and I need to have a bet going then too.
You guys can do the
You guys
wax
can do the
chest.
waxing thing.
Fuck that.
All right, I'm in.
We're too far apart. What could we couldn't. I can't think of anything that we could do.
We'll figure
I don't know.
something
We'll
out.
talk. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Transfer
That's gonna do it
some
for the
money
show.
for a pizza.
PayPal me some money for a pizza.
It will go
You
into
guys
another
wanna PayPal
shitty
me?
green light game.
My PayPal, the Matt Eads. Feel free to send me
Probably
pizza
online
money.
order them a pizza each other.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll look at it. That's it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see everybody here in February on the next edition, ManaTank Podcast.